All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 21st episode of the third season. Here we go. Third season of Second Sons. As always, I'm Roy Rogers, formerly the New York City Meta, currently of the Philadelphia Meta, which I can no longer say is my apartment meta because I am actually a bad citizen of the Philly Meta because there's now a meetup, and I don't go all that regularly. Sorry, Mel. But I am very happy here to have 90s amazing star of the world Unsolved Mysteries playing in my apartment as we record this episode, which is the year-end episode for Second Sons. And I am joined by most of my co-hosts. First is Sandy Barnabas's chair. Hello, Sandy's chair. How are you? Very good. Good to hear you. Yeah, New York's looking good. Joined by former North American champ and always champion of my heart, Chris Schoenthal. How you doing, Chris?
Doing all right.
And we've got Aaron Glazer, who, of course, is on his phone and is not allowed to speak during this segment. And we are joined by world second place finisher Brad Eamon, and also my my hand of the king at Thrones War, the newest Second Sons host, Jesse Carpenter. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm doing wonderful as always. How's everyone else doing?
Oh yeah, and is this your first episode as an official out member of the Wausau community?
It is my first episode of the Second Sons as a member of the Wausau community.
There you go. Well, welcome our Wausau representative. Finally, there's one at official on the Suns, and of course, doing the technical live from Slack back end stuff here is the indispensable Buzz Aldrin. How you doing, Buzz?
I'm good.
I'm good. All right. So it's been like a year since we've done an episode, it feels like, which is because we did we not do a post-Alec? We did a post-Alec episode, right? We just haven't done an episode after that, right? So lots of things have happened. The biggest announcement here would be Ryan Jones has officially announced Thrones War. It was sort of soft announced on Second Sons. I think he told Chris that the location was good to go live on one of our episodes, if I remember correctly. And he's recently on some other terribly named podcast to promote things. I don't know, whatever. Thrones War is happening. It's happening President's Day weekend this year. And I was selected in probably my biggest accomplishment as a Thrones player, was selected to be one of the regents this year, alongside my Second Sons co-host, Sid, but Sid couldn't make it tonight, so no one cares.
So am I.
But one of the coolest things about this year is because this is going to be the largest Thrones War in history, I believe, right, Chris? It's still on mark to be the largest?
Close. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, close.
We had, I think we had 104 last year, so if we get 5 people sign up, we're good.
There we go. So it's on track to be the largest. Ryan
also,
said that.
Free plug. If you haven't signed up yet and you want to go to Thrones War, spots are still available. 23 of them at last count.
At a bar.
Yes, so. It's at. It's don't call it a bar. The structure is amazing. It's a full-on brewery, and we have the entire second floor rented out. It's going to be crazy.
Cool.
If you're going and haven't filled out the response sheet yet, Buzz Aldrin needs those responses to make his spreadsheets, so get on that, please.
So, for example, Aaron Glazer.
Oh, no, that's bullshit.
He's in.
Immediately. And Ryan Jones emailed me. I was like, by the way, I deleted your response by accident.
So
am I. So it's not like I didn't fucking do it in the first place.
Maybe your responses shouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah. Got him.
Shots fired. Got him.
Resets.
But the big program that Ryan launched this year, because he was afraid that the teams would get a little unmanageable, is that each king, through a elaborate process, was able to select a hand of the king, or a hand, regent's hand, to use the non-gendered term. And mine is, of course, my co-host Jesse Carpenter, which was a huge honor. And Sid's is his co-host Buzz, which I'm sure is a huge honor for Sid. But again, Sid chose not to be on this episode, so who knows how Sid feels? I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure he's in like the chat or something. But we're gonna.
His daughter with homework.
The week before the draft, we are gonna do a whole episode about this, so I don't want to belabor too much. But I will say that Jesse, I've been talking about, since it's on or at a brewery, it does lower the value of certain players who may or may not be on this cast because they can't be trusted to not immediately start drinking the moment they walk in the door.
We have a whole spreadsheet dedicated to just that, basically. So
It's just that problem.
Oh,
Yes.
I've
Some might
heard
call
about
it-
this. I've heard about this spreadsheet.
I
oh,
might call it the Barnabas problem. I'm not entirely sure. That's just a rumor.
our scale goes from 0 to 5, and Sandy is -1.
But we're gonna do a whole episode because every year we do. I think we did like 4 episodes last year about it. I was just looking back. Like war is one of the things that we cover a lot on the show. We'll do a live episode again from California because it is, of course, the only time of the year that every member of the cast, except at my wedding this year, will be together. So it's kind of a big deal. So we'll be covering that a lot. So I don't want to belabor too much, other than to say that I'm really excited to be a regent, and it was one of the biggest things for me in Thrones. So, and Sid clearly doesn't care enough to be on the episode. So, anybody else want to add anything else?
Yeah, can someone make sure Roy doesn't get me?
Sure, I'll help.
Oh no! You know who's gonna do it? Johnny Wright is gonna put his first pick, Aaron Glazer. I'm like, well, bye Glazer. Nice having you. That's
As long
way
as the second pick is House Martell, I'm happy.
I only have one
I
request,
thought
and
you
that's
wanted
that
to
I
go
go
on
for
Stark
more than.
again.
I just want to go for more than Aaron.
Oh, I mean, we're at a bar. You really shouldn't.
We're at a bar. I feel like
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
an equal
whoa.
handicap for both of us.
See,
No,
in the Barnabas effect, to me, Sandy is a 5 on the Barnabas scale here, right? Where 5 being the most likely to start heavily drinking in the first round. Glazer is a 4. Like, don't make it sound like Aaron is some innocent Catholic schoolboy
I only
here.
drink during tournaments if I'm losing, or if I've already made the cut.
You better start now then.
I
Oh.
honestly can't say that. I always, if there's beer close, I'm usually drinking.
Okay, editing my
not-
spreadsheet.
You
don't
play
tell
pretty
PBR
well when you're
here,
drunk,
though.
just like.
I usually play better when I'm drunk than when I'm
It's
sober.
good beer, so you might not be too worried about it.
Yeah, there's no PBR.
You got me.
Got him.
Jesse's gonna have to sneak in PBR.
You know what? I've been drinking a lot of hams recently. I'm trying to
Oh
move up
God!
the
All
world.
right. Oh my God! Just pull the Wausau. Like this is
Wausau, ladies and gentlemen.
nonsense. All right. So let's jump in to. Oh no! Wait. Wait. Why do I feel like I'm missing some other? Oh, the Great J Box is out in Europe, not out in America until after Christmas. Good job, FFG. Sandy is actually on this episode. You may have heard him. We were mocking him a little bit. Live from the Life Aquatic over there.
What color do people want? I could change it.
Right, clearly that porn color that you had last time. That was glorious. What I feel like
I
I'm
don't
missing
remember
some
what that
other
was.
news. Did I miss something out?
Well, I'll jump into the shameless
Sure.
plug for the pre-war events. The draft itself will be held somewhere on Twitch with Alex Black and myself commentating on
Good choice.
January 6th at noon Pacific time. So be in front of your computer or other watching device at that time and find out where you're drafted.
The day before is CT's Disaster at Crasters 2, where me and one of our co-hosts here, Sandy, are on a team in a tournament at a bar. So
With Clemens, right?
Yeah, with
Yep.
someone I actually like, so that's nice.
So sad that I
It's
can't go to that.
who? What's the title of your guys' team? It's something. It's not the longest lances.
the lances that were promised.
That's
Yeah,
still
it
pretty
should have been the longest Lances.
good.
Well, then we'd be lying, Sandy.
Let's see. I think. I do want to congratulate Matt Jenkins and Todd Moyer for their successful charity tournaments that they hosted this past weekend.
Absolutely.
That Schoenthal was the featured roasted player on the West Coast, Sandy Barnabas on the East Coast. They
We
raised.
both won one game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They raised several $1,000s.
Here's a
charity.
question. Point of order, Sandy. Did you beat somebody who also eventually made the finals?
I don't think so. No.
I was James Speck's only loss on the day until the finals.
Excuse me,
I mean, it was
King,
basically
King
like,
James
I
Speck.
stop a wall in econ, then I win the game. Otherwise, I just look for the wall or econ the whole game.
That's absolutely true.
But that was a huge success, and I'm very proud of them, and I'm proud of the community for raising several $1,000s for a great cause. There's some big next announcements that you can expect early in the new year. Than is finalizing the details for Winds of Winter, so look out for that. Anything else?
We announced the date for Varberg Margulis next year. National Days weekend in Sweden, June 7th to 9th.
June 7th to 9th.
That's early, right? Than it has been in the
Yeah.
past.
Yes.
I feel like last time it was much colder.
September, yes. Now it's beginning of summer instead of end of summer, yeah.
The end of summer? I guess that's true. September is the end of summer. Yeah, that's right. Didn't feel like the end of summer here in the United States, so
Sure.
It was very warm. We had a very warm September. So global weirding is destroying my sense of seasons. I think that basically covers everything. Right? Unless I'm missing something. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Cool. All right, so let's jump into the segment. Glazer, what do you got for us today?
All right, we're doing our year-end awards. That goes from King's Moot of a cycle ago up to the Grey Dry Box. The Grey Dry Box inclusion here is apparently controversial, but none of my co-hosts could be bothered to tell me that until 10:20 p.m., i.e. 10 minutes before now, so it's just going to be here. So we're doing our awards. We'll vote on each award. So we're going to begin with Meta Shakeup of the Year. The Meta Shakeup card of the year, we've got Hisdar, Marine, Wyman, Ramsey, Daenerys, and Wars. Let's throw it to Jesse.
Wars or Hisdar, like the only ones that actively have, like, when you went to a tournament, changed the percentages by like 15 to 20% of what was brought to the tournament. Right? I mean, Wars was maybe a little bit higher.
It's just
Because
sticking
Stark
now,
was
right? So it's hard
Yes.
to kind of really remember how good it was. But yeah. It was
I mean,
really
there were
good.
tournaments that were like 40, 50 people that like Wars to Come was like 70, 80% of the field, right?
I mean, there's Gen Con where it was a third of the field.
Over,
Right?
yeah. No, it was over 50, right?
Was it
That
over
was
50?
kind of our fault.
Yeah, but I'm
Um,
okay with that.
Yeah. So
Great.
those are my answers.
Well, you got to pick one, man. You can't give two awards.
Wars to Come.
Sandy?
As much as I would like to make a case for any of the other cards, I'm like 3 of those cards are Targ, but it's definitely Wars to Come. Before the restriction, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. And while Crossing was like a little bit of an answer, and I think that Targ, the meta shakeup from Targ was split between those 3 cards. So I don't think it was as impactful as Wars. So yeah, Wars is also my vote.
Show?
Yeah, I can't disagree. It's worse.
Donovan.
I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to say Wyman because I think
Oh,
Wyman.
really?
Yes, I'm sorry. Wyman took a like compare Stark at Thrones War, where it was piloted by and run by some very good players, and what it looked like in the first half of the year, to where it ended up. Like there was generally 1 or 2 good Stark builds, but Wyman just sort of cracked that faction open across the board. Rush builds, mid-range builds, combo builds now are all sort of there. I mean, they got other cards like Skagos, but Wyman just really broke open a faction in a way in which this time last year, Targ cards did that for Targaryen. So I think that the story of, as much as Targ is OP and overpowered, like that storyline started in 2017. The story of 2018 is the rise of Stark, and so Wyman is at the core of that. So
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Wars to Come didn't change the meta that much as it just took the same factions, just and everyone switched to that agenda. But the decks weren't that dissimilar to before, while Wyman just changed what factions were playable or like at the top. So Wyman would be my pick as well.
Glazer.
I think Wyman is the right answer. Stark was really bad, and like it's to the point where I don't think you can restrict Wyman, because I feel like if you restrict Wyman, he's just so obviously the restricted choice that he bans everything else. Like I think Wyman is like it's not a Stark card, it's the Stark card. The entire house is built around that character.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think that affects the meta at large. Like Stark being good didn't completely change how I viewed the meta. Like having wars as half the field is a far bigger impact than one house getting from bad to okay.
So I agree with I agree with you to a certain extent, Chantal. Like I still think Wars to Come is the right answer because I think it effectively changed. I don't agree with Buzz as much about like how it didn't change the decks. I think it changed a lot of decks. He might be right. But it changed the decks I was playing for sure. But I think Wyman being good definitely pushed down a couple of houses for sure.
So I think what Wars did is Wars changed. It allowed you to push answers out of the draw deck and put them into the plot deck, and like that was the secret
totally agree.
of our Mace deck, right? Which was that like you could make a 61 that was just about finding Mace, keeping Mace safe, and just getting power as fast as possible, and just push almost all of your answers into the plot deck, and then never have to worry about in most games those answer cards impacting you or being dead
Sure.
draws. Right. Compare that to like the Tyrell Summer that Jesse and I started playing this time last year. It was running cards like Nightmares. It was running like good cards, but they were answer cards and were dead draws sometimes. Like you needed to see a Mace Dupe here. You needed to see another big guy, and you were drawing like Bodyguard Nightmares. And you're like, well, fuck, I lost. And that's what Wars to Come did, I think, in a lot of decks, which it did have a huge impact on the meta, but not in the sense of like Wyman, which took a faction and brought it out of the gutter and put it into there. And I think it did fundamentally reshape the contours. Or another way to put this is Wars refined the contours of the meta, while Wyman reshaped the contours of it.
So I agree with that assessment, except I don't think Wyman was the card that did it. I think there's Wyman added to the sacrifice like theme of Stark, but I think the combination of Ramsey, Mira, probably a few others that I don't remember.
Skagos.
Skagos is more recently, but like during the year, I think like what's the card that gave you 2 cards for free? And then you discard 2.
Umber Loyalist.
Umber Loyalist, yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of cards that added to like Stark just snowballing. Northern Armory, not least of which. There's
Yeah, I left
I
those
think
off
it's-
because I couldn't figure out what to do with them.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it was one card for Stark. And say like I don't think it was one card for Targ either. I think it was a combination of factors that Synergy just hit that breaking point.
So I will say that I agree with you in the fact that I think Stark just got good and Wyman pushed over the top because they got like 6 straight just insane packs. Like literally 6 months of just like they got 10 to 12 value cards that are just like now seen in almost every Stark deck. Where Targ just was, I mean, I think Targ was more centralized to one card, like his
Ooh, I
Dark
disagree.
Marine, but
that's 2.
It's 2, and then Drogon. But hang on,
Well, but
we are
let's not remember
tied.
like
Wait, guys, we are completely tied. Before he goes, can we get Trey break our tie? You have to pick between Wyman and Wars to Come, Trey. So Wyman, you get to determine. Sorry, Trey, you get to determine who wins this category if you're so.
which
good.
is Wyman.
I don't know his answer.
He might have gone already, so.
Oh no, we're gonna find out in 20 seconds or so.
Wars.
Yeah,
Of course.
Trey votes
Of
Wars.
course it is.
All right, Wars it is.
Wars
Not a bad
wins.
again. Wars, I think this is a category that we this view as a power creep of a year. So, and both of these cards are extremely powerful. All right, what's category 2, Laser?
Underrated card of the year. Our contestants, and you guys can feel free to add anything because this one was a pain in the ass to make. They are, don't highlight things while I'm trying to read those. Tom of the Seven Strings, Ramsey Snow, which wasn't going to be there, but Miranda Bird sent me the reviews for Ramsey Snow when he came out, and holy crap, did people
Wait,
think
you're
he was
talking about which reviews are we talking about? Are we talking about
the
Second
bad one.
Son / White Book reviews, or are we talking
No,
about Card Game
No,
DB
no,
reviews?
the bad
Those-
Mira definitely has a
The
has
card
a
game
point
DB
there.
reviews do not count. Those are utter garbage.
Fair. Hightower Spy, Leighton
Hightower Spy,
Hightower,
now that is definitely a sleeper.
brief, Leighton Hightower, Bolton Flayer, and Three Fingered Hob.
Who
So-
underrated Three Finger Hob?
Tons of
People think
people.
he's like the best
Who,
card.
I just don't understand how you can read that card and be like, this card isn't going to be just fucking broken. Like,
Yeah.
if you keep him alive, he just draws you 2 cards a turn.
I don't really remember what people said about Ramsey and Bolton Flayer though. Were they
Bolton
underrated?
Flare was
I
more
do.
of a sleeper than people panning. It was more like, oh, this is a pretty good card. I don't know.
Is it even that good? I mean, I still don't think it's that good.
I mean-
I mean,
Bolton Flayer
it's
is
not a
Bolton
Stark
Flayer's-
card; it's a Martell card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Bolton
Yeah.
Flayer is really good in Martell.
You see,
So-
you see it to start mid-range Stark builds.
Yes.
and a few-
Wasn't it? Wasn't
mean-
it in the World Championship, the Stolic Championship deck? Sorry, the real Championship deck.
Don't recall if it was or not.
Yeah,
What's the real
Yeah,
maybe.
championship
definitely
deck?
had-
Stolic.
Yeah,
Stolic's a
in
better
Milko's
World
deck, it
Championship.
was in there.
Also, I think Tom of the Seven Strings is going to be my pick because like that card didn't look good, and then it just won a bunch of things with like
It's in
in
one
Hano's
deck that won.
It won
Whatever.
more than one.
It won a
I
bunch
still
of
have never
things
actually
with one
seen the card
player
sleeved up.
winning with the same deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think that
I mean,
counts.
I just-
I
I
think
won with the
that's
I mean,
That's like saying,
maybe Hanno Lunzer is the sleeper player of the year,
yeah,
but
that's
Yeah.
possible.
Tom of Seven
That's
String
That's
isn't
like-
the underrated card of the year.
What is the 2-cost Stark event? No,
Which one?
The one that sacrifices a character location.
North
North
remembers.
Yeah, it's like saying that card was a sleeper card because only Sam Bratz was able to use it to win. Like,
That's not true. Like Wama is a
Who
person.
else? Okay.
Yes, Wama, but that's that's a European Sam. So
Well, if we're judging everything based on like the card values of Sam Bratz and Wama, then like we're all utter garbage. Like, I don't know which one. Like,
Which is
like,
not an incorrect statement. So,
Well, it's clearly still Three Finger Hob because I'm sure Wama will take a Night Flash deck and win with it.
I mean, like, I think this year for my pick's gonna be Hightower Spy. I think people realized that the card was obviously good. It gives a strength pump, but like, I don't think it's much more vital to the Tyrell strategies at its high point, rather than. I mean, Jesse lost on that card, right? If it had
Twice.
flipped twice, like if it
I
flipped
lost.
like properly, like it's a high variance card, but that variance more often than not cuts in your favor and just can roll people. I mean, that card let me beat Alejandro, like, which is not a thing that should be happening. But so it's a very powerful card, and definitely to me is a sleeper. Like, be like, okay, that's a fine card, but are you going to find room for it? It's competing with so many other good ambush cards, but it proved to just dominate the middle part of the year along as the card that really pushed the Tyrell archetype over the top, particularly in the Targ meta. So that's what I would say.
I'd agree. I
Let's
remember
call it
using
radio
the Hightower
acting.
Spy. No, I mean seriously, I think that card was really good. I feel like it's almost too good of a strength pump in a house that can just randomly put cards into play all the time. It's really good as a banner card. I don't know. And the fact that it's not even the top 5 cards of Tyrell. If you ask people to name the top 5 Tyrell characters, it's not there.
My pick for most underrated card of the year is Sir Cletus Ronwood.
That card's
People thought that card
obnoxious.
was going to be
That
bad,
card
and
is-
that card is oppressively good.
Nobody
Credits
thought that card was bad.
correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
I
card
don't
was
think it's
well
that good.
reviewed.
Yeah.
card
by
is great.
you on
It's
the white
amazing.
book.
It's amazing.
Hey, I
By
reviewed
you
it well
on
in the white book.
What
I'm
about
just
I
saying,
don't-
like, when it first came out, people were not playing it. People did not think it was very good.
Oh, I
And
agree.
then,
It was.
okay.
I mean, it's only really good in one day.
It doesn't have
It's
to be
really
overrated by you. It's like the general consensus.
Yeah, that's fair. I also really like the Hightower Spy, so I guess that's fair.
I lost to that at Bay of Crabs. Derek playing an Aaron Glazer deck. I lost to that card.
Yeah, for
Iron
some
Mode?
reason, Cletus, he has no attachments, and that makes no fucking sense to me. He just
I
lets
think
you win the game.
that is
Like,
my favorite thing about him. I'm just
The
like, I'm
one
gonna
thing
cancel
you
your
can
plot. You're gonna
control is
Valor
initiative,
eventually.
and like
Like when I can Valor and it's like +6 initiative, it's phenomenal.
it's not even a Martell theme. Like I don't know why he has that ability. Like I have no idea.
Because he's trying to make you go second. It makes sense, even though you totally only use him to go first in some of those tells.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he was underrated, and I think he ended up being very good.
That's fair.
My vote is for Leighton. I think Leighton is a real sleeper, even still. But I know when we were testing for Gen Con, he was like on the fringes, like, oh, he might be a 61st card. And then you put a copy in, and when you drew him, you're like, damn, that's pretty cool. And then you kept putting more copies in, and you were like, wow, this is really good. Why are we not like just maxed out on this guy?
Correct.
I don't disagree with you. I think the restriction makes him a lot worse. The Hightower Mace restriction. But I also think
the fact that he's good with both of those cards, so like whichever restricted card you pick, he goes in your deck is like crazy.
Well, if he costs 6, I actually would put him on this list. I would say he's much better at 6 cost than 5. I hate the fact that I can't reduce him properly with Great Halls.
Oh, Great Halls.
Same thing. A 6 and a 5 with a Great Hall is the exact same cost. You're paying 4 either way.
It's true.
Like you're paying literally.
Rip.
Unless
English teacher teaches programmer.
Am I wrong?
Also,
yes,
he's immune to duel. So
you have
that's very
2
important.
Great Halls or 3 Great Halls, which you often do.
No, there it does. It does exponentially get better.
Fair, very fair.
All right.
I feel like I never see more than one Great Hall in games. It's very annoying.
What's your answer, Buzz?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I love it.
Pick one. We have no consensus.
I might pick Starfall. So I usually
Starfall was underrated.
I have a feeling it was because it was like, okay, you can build HRD Starfall with this. That's cool. Now we can play icon control, but then and people didn't want to slot it in, and now it's an easy 1x, and I'm upping it to 2x in all the Martell builds. But as I said, I'm not sure. If people were, I don't remember the reviews, but if people were low on Ramsey, then probably Ramsey.
I don't think.
I don't remember.
I've never met anyone who was low on Ramsey.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't have been. All right, whatever. I'm gonna change my vote to Cletus because I love Cletus, and Cletus therefore wins.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Some gerrymandering right there. Cletus mandering, perhaps.
All right. We all good for the next category?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Much Ado About Nothing card, the card everyone thought was going to be busted, that ended up kind of not doing anything to the meta, including the one that I thought was going to change the entire game and did jack shit. Much Ado About Nothing card number 1, The Wall. 2, to go forward, you must go back. 3, Obella Sand. 4, Free Folk. 5,
Spicy.
Black.
False.
What was the last one?
There were 2 more. 5, Blackwater Bay. And 6, my personal shame, because I still think it's amazing, King's Landing.
Personal shame.
King's Landing, yeah. I'll jump in here right now and say, to go forward, you must go back. I thought that card was going to be busted. I thought it was going to push Targ super even more. It was going to give Targ its main thing when it didn't see Marine, which was draw that it needed. And no, it just ended up to be garbage. So
can I
will fully admit I was wrong.
Sure, but like if it weren't errated or given that weird ruling, it's still as good as we thought. Like the reason I'm not picking it, because I think like everyone's universally behind it, but with the ruling we had when this came out, it was busted. And then they were like, we're gonna roll this to be terrible. And that's when it stopped seeing play.
They didn't rule it to be terrible. They just ruled it to function.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Correctly, it's not good. Because you need all these cards.
Well, the way it's supposed to work within the template of the game, it's not a good card.
Before we knew the ruling, people were still thinking it was busted. It wasn't just the ruling that made it busted.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think it's the ruling that, like, the idea that it could be the last card in your hand that then you could use it was what made it.
I always thought that card was.
No, I don't agree.
I also think it might be really good in Target Shadows still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's underrated.
Yeah.
Now,
All right.
overrated
It
then.
might be good in Targ Shadows. I think Targ's event slots are really tight, and anyone who
yeah,
builds
exactly.
a Targ deck knows that.
Yep.
So
I think
You're
what
not
brings
wrong.
this down is that, okay, I need to slot all of these 10 burn events first, and then we'll talk about this.
All true. And Marine is the most busted draw card in the game.
Oh
So.
yeah, why would you? If you don't need this anymore.
So I'm gonna pick the wall. Like the wall is just this giant flashy card, and like I sit down against the wall, and unless I get real lucky early, I'm just like, oh, I'm probably gonna win. I'm not really stressed about this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I think the wall is like I think Night's Watch control decks are generally better if they don't even bother running the wall.
People were crying like crazy over this, and this is so bad, so OP, blah blah blah. I can't play versus this, blah blah blah. I play this a lot from Nick Hansen's green side deck. It's good.
Yep.
It just get rolled over by anyone that can win by turn 3 or something.
Aaron, are you advocating for the small wall or no wall in the Night's Watch deck?
Night's Watch control, no wall, just don't play wall. You run a lower curve, maybe you slot a Heron Hull to Stark and Hull or two, but even then, that's not totally necessary in that deck. Sure.
So the one, the Night's Watch Wolf that went far in Stalek got beaten by Hultman in the end. It ran 3x, I think.
The Heron Hull?
Yeah, no,
No
Wall.
wall. Yeah, look, it's not bad. I just think it's overrated. Like I don't think it affected the game in any real way. It's an okay card. It's just severely overrated, and everyone seems to
Yeah,
have thought
I mean,
Omela
when
was
you're building for a
multiple.
tournament, you're not thinking, oh, I need to tech against the big wall because it's gonna bust my balls.
So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
actually,
That's
I
true.
think part of the reason for this is the preponderance of Targ, and Targ is not a great faction for the new wall. Like I think if we saw a lot of Martel Wolf control decks, like yeah, I think I'd absolutely
no.
like to play the new wall.
No, Martel Wolf wrecks the new wall. It just doesn't care. It's like, oh, you sure did get my weenie, and like it shrugs and moves on.
Are
Like,
you
it tends to
putting?
just-
Are you like your flea bottom becomes like
Yeah,
at the moment you
I mean-
sacrifice something, I'm taking it. Like it's,
Sure,
I don't know.
I just don't like it's. I got a really high potential with Martel Wolf against new wall decks. Like,
Well,
I mean, they
if-
can beat you if they get off really fast, right? But it's
But-
usually
But that's the thing though. With Martel Wolf or any Martel deck, you have ages to build up, and
I mean, it's hard for me to say like a much ado about nothing card when like it still saw pretty solid success in its run. My pick is Seized by the Guard. I think everyone thought that card was just gonna be insane, and just
card
no one
is
plays
insane.
I
it.
think
No
yeah,
one
it's
plays
insane.
it.
I think it
I
still
think it
is.
is insane.
No one
Yeah,
plays it.
especially at cohort decks play it. Like,
Cohort
how are
decks
you
play
gonna-
one of it.
Yeah, but
I
they
mean,
can
I
get
think
it back
we're
as many
all-
times
They
as they want.
recycle it with Isle of Ravens.
Yeah, that's
I
why.
we're all
agree.
forgetting-
I love Cohort. I'm just telling you, like no one plays the card.
I mean, if you're gonna say
I agree that not
people
enough
play
people
the
play it.
wall, right? If you're gonna say people play the wall, then people also play cohort, like about as much, if not more, which means they do play Seized by the Guard.
We're actually forgetting the obvious answer on this list, which is Free Folk. Nobody plays Free Folk anymore because it's garbage.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
I think it's trash.
Oh my God.
Jesse has a weird.
You guys are
like,
so
hard on.
fucking
I agree with
wrong.
Jesse here.
It's good.
It is the most. It should not have been printed fucking card. Okay, so you don't make me look at Brad Eamon. When Brad Eamon can play vanquished the non-believers turn 1, a 5 gold 2 claim plot turn 1, then he can play vanquished non-believers 5 gold 2 claim plot turn 2, and then you win or you die turn 3. You're gonna fucking cry
I
because
can't
there's
play those
nothing
yet
you
'cause
can
I
do.
don't have that.
There's nothing you can do. It's stupid. It's not. It shouldn't be a card. It like the design space is garbage.
Both things can be
Sure.
true. I think it can be overrated and also shouldn't have been printed.
Yeah, I
mean-
think what Chris said.
Oh my god!
But
it's
I
overrated.
think one, maybe the neutral card pool isn't there yet. But if you print any good neutrals, Free Folk is getting busted
You have
suddenly.
to print good. You have to print good neutral. Why?
I mean, that's like what we said about the
No?
7, right? If you start printing good 7 characters, then the 7 agenda becomes really good.
The
Yeah,
7
but-
takes
Whatever.
1 power. Like, this changes your claim.
Yeah.
It changes the frameworks of the game.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
all you do is just play Martell and run Vengeance for Elia, and then you're like, go fuck yourself. That's
I'm
that's
fine with
literally
that.
all you
I-
do.
that was
I
my
like
answer.
orange
Yes,
cards.
but
I
I mean,
like orange cards.
And
this
old
has
Bill Bond.
this won some tournaments, and then the hype was over, and people stopped playing it. Why? It's boring.
Also, it's not allowed.
It's boring. And it can also flame out. Let's
Yes.
be honest here. Like it's a high variance deck,
So
right?
it's
Like,
not. So it's not much.
but
to
I
do
think
about
Vanquishing
nothing based on
Unbelievers
this
does make it
conversation.
more consistent.
If
I do not believe it's much ado about nothing.
if
for
you
sure. I do not.
are a
I mean, I agree
bottom,
it doesn't win the award, but I don't hate it being on the list.
if you're a bottom tier player and want to get
do.
into the cut, play Free Folk.
Correct.
If
Did
you are
Crossing-
a
did Crossing
good,
get an
consistent
opportunity for it?
player that places consistently in the cut, don't play Free Folk because you might flame out.
Oh, that's not true. If you're a bad player, play Crossing.
Free folk is easier than crossing.
Yeah, Free Folk.
I
Yeah, Free
agree,
Folk.
Aaron.
Play Free
Yeah,
Folk,
but
not
Crossing
Crossing
is
Crossing.
easier.
That's
Crossing
why I
has a
only play
higher
Crossing.
ceiling.
I mean,
That's-
both are good choices. Yes.
Glazer, that's coming from someone who has never played crossing, and you
Then
know
how
my
would you know?
opinion of that card. Because I've played the game for 3 years and I watched
don't
people
know.
play it.
I don't know. I feel like you've never seen Crossing. All right, we need a winner for this category. We need a. Okay, so it's
I think
not
2 of
Free
us
Folk.
said forward and back, right?
Forward and back.
Sure.
Forward and back is our winner.
Uh,
Buzz, do you want to fight that? I think it's fantastic that everyone was so wrong about Obella.
were people worried about Bella? My vote is
I-
Wall
So
if
Bella,
it
I kept-
registered.
The claim one, I kept being told she would be 2 or 3 of in every deck. Why would you not? It's crazy that you don't like her. I was like, maybe one of them. She just doesn't do. She just doesn't do anything to the board.
Yeah.
And Martell
I mean-
can't survive not
I
doing
mean,
anything to the board.
the decks where she's best isn't played out of Martell right now because they are not Martell Wolf.
Well,
Right.
they're not Martell and like maybe Barra, but even then, well. All right. We are on to the specific factions. We are now picking one card as best for each faction. Ready for Baratheon, our first faction. Are these in
No.
alphabetical order? No, they're not. They're in no order. All right. One is Celise, whatever her last name is.
That's all you have to say.
Dragonstone Castle, the Bastard of Nightsong, King at the Wall, Shadow Priestess, Sir Justin Massey, and a card I hope is going to be good, Banished from the Light.
Was Devin in December last year or was it in January?
Devin was pre this. He wasn't on the list.
I think he was at because no, we talked about him on the episode we did with CT at the end of last year, Jesse.
Yeah.
He was in the December pack because we had the store championship and that was also the pack with Consuming Flames.
Well, yeah, Consuming Flames wasn't on the list either.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
pre-Consuming.
it's in that pack. You're right. Okay.
Because
There
I had
should-
Consuming Flames.
Because remember,
like that.
Glazer and I were like, Devin is an amazing card, and they were
yeah.
all like, no, the card just came out. How can you guys say that? White Book always overrates cards.
Devin is the stone cold nuts.
All right.
I don't-
However, since he's not on the list, what
I
does
don't
win?
think before we
Celise.
decide the winner, I don't think
I don't think so.
he wins the category, but I would definitely there's a card on the list that is I would put over like at least 3 of these cards, which is Red Ronnet. I think he's much better than like King at the Wall.
So you know why he's not
Crap
on the
like that.
list? You know why he's not on the list? Oh, because he's 4 cost.
He's no attachments.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't
Red
fucking roll
Ronet's
I did not know
good,
that.
dude.
So
Red Ronnet belongs on the list.
I don't think he's better than King at the Wall, but otherwise I do agree.
I agree with Sandy
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like Red Ron is really good, but King of the Wall, like just those
It looks
those
like King of the
freaking
Wall
Barra
so much.
cohort decks.
It's
can
the whole
just,
reason
like-
those guys-
How do we rate this? Like what it does for the faction, or how often you include it in a deck?
What
Well,
it does for the
what
faction,
it
I
does
think
for the
is what it should be.
faction
Okay.
is the way
So-
to go. So I
Celise.
think.
Sillies.
Silly.
I'm going King at the Wall because there's only one Barra deck that mattered this year, and it
I was-
happens
yeah.
because of King at the Wall.
False. Jesse Carpenter was running around in the spring
Yeah,
and
whoa.
summer with Nick Hansen.
Nick Hansen
Dude.
punted Kubla. He should have won Kubla with a
Oh,
Celise
but-
deck.
But he shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's all I gotta
Okay,
say.
so he placed just as high as the Bear cohort deck did at Nats, and Kubla was bigger.
Yeah, Barra Cohort won other tournaments.
And Bear cohort
and it made the
with
cut
a Tyrell deck.
every
Let's not get out of hand here.
Yeah.
It
Let's
was
not go
not
crazy.
a trail deck. It was not a trail deck.
Fuck,
It was
I
not a
played the
trail.
deck a lot.
Me too. It was not a trail deck.
King at the Wall helps one, like, exclusively Alliance cohort rows.
If you-
Nothing
but
else.
every-
Nothing else. While
Every
Celise
time you
has
put
No,
5 or
it's
6
mana
different
rows.
decks, which suddenly make them almost playable, but their economy is
Almost
trash. So
Yeah, I'll take playable over almost playable, but I guess I'm on my own here.
every time you go to Thrones TV and you click House Baratheon, which I know is not very often for many people, when you do, one of the first cards you're
I'll
always
be
like
Justin.
is how many
react
Salises?
Celise
Correct.
every
And the
time.
answer is always 3.
Yes.
I'm not even sure she's better than the Bastard of Night song, but okay.
Oh, wow.
I slot at least one X Bastard in all of Baratheon decks, but
Correct.
it doesn't do
Because
that much. It doesn't change the faction in any meaningful way.
Okay,
I kind of think Banished from the Light is going to do the most for Bara, or
It
possibly
may.
Red Runner. But it's one of these Shadows mechanics that's just going to just fuck everybody over.
Yeah, I kind of
Or
agree,
whatever.
except they need a economy advantage to be able to play it, which they cannot do right now.
They just bank 'em,
How
bro.
did your Nick Hansen deck get an economic advantage?
The Iron Bank.
Banished from the
No,
light.
We played the
No.
Iron Bank.
Yeah.
That's only marshaling, which unfortunately doesn't super help. All right, Iron Bank is one of my favorite cards in the game. Remains
love
one of my
that
favorite
card.
in the game. Just,
Yes.
It's so hard to run because Stark is everywhere.
Good art too.
And
Yes.
Rejoy. Right. So Celise wins. Ready for Best Martel?
Yes.
We have. Oh, apparently my audio is breaking up. Hopefully it's not too bad. Our Best Martel. Dorn is there, dude. You're writing card that's already there. Someone
there.
always tells.
The word is so small.
Yes, but I didn't name it. It's just a short word. Someone always tells. Host of the Boneway. Dorn. Shadow City Bastard. Starfall. Starfall Spy. And Desert Raider. I mean, the answer is Dorn, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Someone always tells is not that far off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised you're not advocating for someone else since you want it banned.
So Dorn lifts Martel, the whole faction. Every time you're thinking about Martel, you're thinking, yeah, I can get great draw. Good. Someone always tells fits in some decks. Mostly
But not all.
only worse to come, in my opinion. And
That's fair.
but I mean, it's a dumb card that shouldn't be printed. So
Agreed.
Someone always tells is the dumbest. I'm down to 2 Dorn in most white Martel decks.
Because you draw so much.
Well, yeah, because Secret Schemes is I truly believe Secret Schemes is probably the most broken card in the game. Secret Schemes just really shouldn't exist. Can you stop bolding things, Sandy?
I just thought we'd skip that.
I thought it was pretty great that everyone, like so many people, Host of the Boneway probably should have gone underrated because I remember people telling me that was bad.
Was that this year?
No,
Absolutely.
that was
This
a
year?
good card.
Yeah.
The Boneway
Yeah, that
a
was definitely
great
underrated.
card,
Like,
but people hated it. People started playing it when I started playing it online. Like it was.
I mean, maybe it's underrated, but it's nowhere close to best Martel of the year.
Yeah.
No, because there's so
no,
many.
not in a year with Dorn and Shadow City Bastard.
Well, Martel box, so yeah.
Desert
Yeah.
Raider.
Yeah, Desert Raider's going to be stupid.
Is better than Shadow City Bastard. Just so you're
Yeah.
aware.
Well, we're not counting the Greyjoy box, right?
We
We're not.
I'm not rating anything from the Greyjoy box because we don't know. Well, we know about Desert Raider because it's dumb, but
I've played like 50 games Desert Raider in second edition already, and I've played a million more in first.
good for you,
Desert
Mr.
Raider is
Playtester.
The problem with,
It could be
the
busted
problem with
now.
Desert Raider is
Now. It's the only deck I'm playing right now.
He just
doesn't,
it's not playtesting, it's entirely
I
lazy
know,
grinding
I'm
through
joking.
games.
I've been grinding Martel Wolf like a monster lately.
Desert Raider doesn't help against Sea of Blood. Otherwise, I would say it's better than Shadow City Bastard.
So it does in a different way. It really does. Like
Good
just being
in Sea of Blood, dog.
it's good in Sea of Blood, but like just coming back and being like, all right, you killed half my board. I took away your last power icon.
Uh-oh, no more sound for Aaron.
Oh, I don't have any sound.
No, it's
you're
fine.
back
Last
now.
point.
Cut off the end of the word icon.
Yeah, I feel like you're headset is doing something weird, but whatever.
But I think the answer is very clear to Wade Dorn.
Yeah,
For anyone
I
that
don't
doesn't-
There's no. We can't
Shadow
really.
City
talk about
Bastards
it.
like medium close, but not close enough for me to even consider it above Dorn.
If Flea Bottom were built in, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if Flea Bottom were unrestricted even.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Best Targ. Ready? You guys are going to disagree with me.
It's his
Daenerys.
Oh, somebody unbolded my.
Daenerys, Aegon, Hisdar, Marine, Queensguard, Drogon.
Well, he was going to say Queensguard.
No, I'm going to say Marine.
I was going to say Marine as well. Why would people
It's
disagree with that? Marine is busted.
Because
No.
everyone
It's
just
Hisdar.
yelled at Hisdar. I think
Hisdar is better.
Yeah.
I don't think Hisdar matters without the draw. I don't think Hisdar matters.
All right,
But
because
okay,
King-
so
Disagree.
Aaron,
because King
Aaron,
plot doesn't exist.
You can still
or
run
economy.
Hisdar. Exactly. You can still run Hisdar in banner packages where you can't run Marine. And
Yeah.
you can still run
But
it,
this
and
is-
you run it with King Plot, and you crush people.
more importantly, what Histar was released earlier in the year. He
They're
was
both
played.
like the
The same
exact
pack.
same pack. Exact same pack.
Oh, they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
It
was
was
a
a
dumb
great
pack,
pack.
by the way.
so what did all of the Targ decks that were good run before Marine? 2x counting
run-
coppers every
Yeah,
time. But
Yeah.
so you need the draw for Histar, but and Missandei and Kodo and etc. Now you have Marine, sure, but Histar helps the faction in a completely different way.
The Axford economy is just busted.
Yeah.
Super busted.
So
It changed the game. It literally helped push the rest of Crossing out of the game, like to a certain extent, because you couldn't fucking like this is something you should talk about. What's more busted, Hisdar or Marine?
wait, in a rush? Well, because
We'll let Brad, who came.
Oh, Brad, I didn't know he
Final
was
Table
getting
of Worlds. So Brad, which is more busted, Hisdar or Marine?
Well, for accessibility, it's Hisdar, but just overall, it's Marine.
No,
Damn.
Brad.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Can you
All right,
qualify
seal it.
Accessibility?
hold on a
Oh.
second. Accessibility because Hisdar you can splash in any deck.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's more
so-
versatile.
Right.
And
Yeah.
King plot.
Yeah, and King Plots. But like, so if you're to talk about, I was talking about cards in a vacuum. Like if I'm looking at all of them, Marine's pretty fucking retarded. So,
Sure.
but like Hisdar is also insane. Obviously, Black Lotus every phase is pretty dumb. But if you don't have draw power behind Hisdar, he's bad, but not like as oppressive.
But before we had Marine,
Still has icons in the king trait.
Yeah, no, I'm not downplaying Hisdar. He's ridiculous. They're both insanely broken cards, but like, so one of these cards feels a lot worse to play against too. Like when I see Marine across the table, I feel a lot worse than when I see Hisdar. I don't know if
Really?
it's just I don't know if it's just that I've adjusted to Hisdar, but like Hisdar, I have the element. I guess so. Like in my mind, I look at him and I go, I can kill him, and then I don't have to deal with him anymore. But if you don't have location removal in your deck, you look at Marine and you say I have to play against this for the rest of the game. Like
5 cards a turn is pretty brutal to play against.
like you can kill Hisdar. It's not like he's unkillable or something. But like
No, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I played a lot of Targ too, and I feel like the advantage that Targ gets from Marine without Hisdar is actually not as much as you would think.
Oh, I mean, not in
Because
shadows.
they have so. Well, maybe it was Shadow. Like I don't know. I haven't played the Assault deck a lot, but I think that the you're gonna have to time it correctly. You don't want events during the marshaling phase. You don't want characters during the challenges phase. Like I think it's a lot more finicky, and I think the variance is a lot higher. Whereas Hisdar, you're like, oh, I get basically 3 extra gold every phase if I want it.
but there's a respectable neutral answer to Hisdar though with Milk of the Poppy. What's your respectable neutral answer to Marine? Is it
Seized by the guard.
Got him.
So yeah, no,
But-
I said that straight out, but I feel like plain Milk
Yeah.
is like
Well, and
across
sure.
the board
But-
more.
So
What do you want to
It's-
one reason
it's
I like
still
Hisdar for
Nefarious
this.
Acolyte. That's the respectable neutral answer to Marine.
I like Histar for like the winner because you get so front loaded as a Targ player that you force the attrition or control deck to like slam all of the resources and plots and control right now. you force a reset. So sure, you can kill him with the Valor, but then the Valor is gone turn 2.
Yep, that's exactly right. I mean, playing with Hisdar, I find that if they don't Valor turn 2, I almost always run away with the game.
Yeah.
And if they Valor turn 2, then they Valor turn 2.
Yep.
Yeah. So at Red Saturday, I played the Stormbro guy with Assault Targ
Austin.
twice. Yes, Austin.
Andros.
Um,
Austin? Okay.
Austin, yeah. And
Yes, it was up.
I riddled his Summer Harvest. He has 1 gold because he is Assault, and he floods more than me easily because he has his star. The card is just so broken.
But like,
Yeah, the
you
fact that
can't.
it affects shadows is insane.
Yeah, but like at the same time, Marine can do just as much broken crap, right? Like,
I mean, he played both,
in a,
of course, but
in a game where you used to say my opponent has no cards in hand, I'm completely fine. I have 0% chance of losing this game. Turns into now I have to play against 5 cards a turn.
so yeah. I think Marine is really great for the faction. Of course, you play 3x, and it's comparable to his star, but you can also just run his star and 2x coppers and like forget about Marine.
Sure,
In theory,
but like you're losing 2 plot
you-
slots.
Yeah,
You're, like,
that's
you're underselling that 2
but
plot
Targ has been doing this for
You're losing
3
You're losing
years.
a plot slot for Marine
wait,
King.
wait,
You gotta
wait.
How many
keep
people are in the Hisdar
compensation in
camp?
your plot deck.
I think it's like
seems
3 versus 3, maybe,
Yeah.
No, well, now
or 4
what's-
versus
it's
2, maybe.
Not 3 and 3.
4 versus
Is-
Jesse, Sandy, and I are all on Hisdar.
Is
And
any
me.
is any percentage of that, like if
Fourth,
Hisdar was loyal, does that number drop at all? Does anybody change their answer?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
Okay, so then like
Not
the
me.
versatility is super important.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
no,
for-
no, and that's I agree with
No,
that.
the best 30, like it's fair. Like
this is
we're
best
comparing
card,
like
not best banner dragon though.
2 of the most overpush cards that FFG has designed, right? So
Yes.
the margin
It's
of
not
error here
exclusive.
is like
this is the problem.
but to go back to it though, I think that the opportunity cost going away of freeing up 2 plot slots is a huge thing for Targ and has opened up flexibility in Targ's plot game that didn't exist. And one of the things that was holding Targ back for a while was this requirement of 2x counting coppers for a long time.
Okay,
right?
fair,
The fact
yeah.
that meant you started, all right, I have 5 plots. You
Until you got
really
worse to come.
4 plots in my Targ deck, unless it's a crossing deck. But like the Bernie, mid-rangey, grindier Targ decks, like I'm running one of the Valors and I'm running 2x counting, so I have 4 plots to play with. So
to come before that. So you had 8 plots.
Yeah, Jesse said you're playing Wars to Come before that, so you had 8
excuse
plots.
me, at 8 plots, but that's still a huge opportunity cost of Wars to Come. Like Targ, but now Targ has way more design space to play with in its plots, and pushing consistent draw into the draw deck is a huge boon for that deck. In the same way, it was a huge boon from Tyrell when they had Hightower, like like really consistent, easy to trigger draw deck. Draw is really powerful in this
See,
game.
I really agree with you. However,
Same with Dorn.
if we remove his star, Targ doesn't have anything to make up for it. If we remove Marine, you give up 2 plots, but you can make up for it in some way. So I think his star changes how you build Targ more than Marine does.
So
Sounds
I'm
like
not
fair.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that in that like Targ was already one of the better economies. They changed which economy they ran. But like
Excuse me.
Targ, even before his star, was running 2 counting coppers because they had such good economy.
Beggar King is great.
Beggar King is a phenomenal card that also allows game. Like some people run 3 Beggar King.
Who
If
are
you don't
the
have,
good
if you
players?
But it's for the
if you don't
same
have
reason.
his,
Like,
if you don't have Hisdar, you just play 3 Beggar Kings. Like if you
Which
take
is
the deck
what we
that I
did.
played, and you cut Hisdar, you just add more Beggar Kings, and then you go up to double trade routes.
Yep,
that's way worse.
I don't think so.
It's yes, you're losing one of the most broken cards in the game, but the deck isn't like unplayable. That deck's still a top 16 deck.
Oh yes,
And
I'm,
if you
I'm sure
cut
it's really
Marine-
great.
Yeah,
But
and
what
that's
it
HRD Marine. Like,
but what it does for what it does for the ability to crush and outpace attrition decks and control decks is not there. Trade routes isn't really online until
So
plot 3 at least.
Right.
While Histar is gonna fuck you up turn 1 and 2.
If I'm playing Crossing,
when I'm
there's
playing
no way that
Control, in Crossing, definitely Histar is better. But
and in Shadows
when
it's
I-
better.
in Shadows, no, in Shadows Marine is way better, way better, like unbelievably better.
yeah,
ability to
'cause
save-
you don't lose the like I
Yeah,
drew an
you don't-
event during March.
Yeah, it's just you can do whatever the hell you want,
It-
whatever you want. And
but
it's ridiculous.
That's a bit unfair though, because you play Assault because you have Marine.
Right, you play Assault because of Marine. Like
Yes.
that, sure. And Crossing works because, like, largely because of Histar. But at HRD, Marine is obviously a Marine deck. Like,
But-
yes, there's
But
specific.
I mean,
decks
no.
which each are better.
Crossing
wait,
won
wait.
Worlds and Euros last year without
Before his
Cool. but
before
this is-
Histar.
But this is
Histar didn't
2000
make Crossing.
Fair. But okay, so
It keep-
as a control,
Wait, it lets
wait,
Crossing
wait,
keep pace
wait.
with the other decks would be the better way to put it.
as a control player, like playing against Targ, Marine is the card that drives me crazy. Histar is annoying. Marine is the one that like completely, because like I get them down to 0 a couple times, and like I like manage to get rid of things, and then they start drawing 5 cards a turn, and I eventually just run out of steam because they're drawing 5 goddamn cards a turn. Like I can get rid of everything they do, and then they're like 5 cards a turn, and eventually I run out of steam and lose.
That's what happened to me at a regional when I was playing Stark. The first round I played against a Tark Marine deck, and he had double resets, and then I literally had probably every unique character in his dead pile, and I was about to turn the corner, but time got called. Like, and he's just gonna have 11 power to 5 or whatever, but I can't chew through 5 cards a turn with Stark.
So I think we are jaded by the decks we play and how we play them. Aaron plays Control Martel, and he wants to
And control Targ, so I like Marine better.
whatever. And you want to whittle down their hand, reset them, and win. So so against how you play, Marine is obviously the answer, right? I play also Martel, but only Martel Wolf, and only my version. That is only attrition to the board. And if I get on board, no matter how many cards they have, if they don't have unlimited economy, I'm ahead. So what I do is I kill Histar and win the game. Sure, they draw 5 cards, but they're not gonna play 5 cards because they don't have Histar.
Yeah.
So the question.
So
the question-
I don't think we'll reach an agreement here because
let's-
I think
let's
we
just
are
vote.
too jaded by our own experiences. I don't think we're objective at all.
Fair enough. Let's vote.
we
Okay,
did
Histar.
I believe it's 4-3 Histar.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we
Does
just counting
does Brad
Brad's
just get
opinion
a
We
vote
now?
are
now?
counting Brad. I mean,
Yeah, Brad
Okay,
joined.
the Histar still wins. then.
Hold on. Let me call some people, get them on the cast.
Yeah,
you still
right?
win, Sandy. You still win.
We're still
so
winning.
No whining. Don't be ungracious loser. All right, what's the next faction we're supposed to do?
Greyjoy.
Greyjoy.
Greyjoy. Oh Jesus.
If
So
anyone
you're
did
gonna,
that,
you're going to
God.
ignore 3 of the cards on this list, so you're really choosing between 4. So Asha, no,
The cycle Asha.
Cycle Asha,
Seven Asha.
draw all the cards Asha. Tarl the Thrace Drowned God Fanatic, which is probably going to Victarion, and then 3 box cards. Balon, Maiden's Bane, and Crawl the Maid.
Vince.
I think
Is it
Scouting
Crawl the
might
Maid?
be
No.
on there.
Which is the one which is Jesse's stupid card? It's not Crawl the Maid.
Old Grey Gull.
It's Grey Gull. That's what that should be.
Old Grey Gull. Carl the Maid is the stand
Yeah,
warship
I
or
got
stand
one.
Asha, right?
There's 18 different 4-costers in that box. I got them
But anyway,
confused.
the answer is Vince.
Vince.
Like Vince.
There's no
Yes.
Vince.
fucking champ
Like-
cards.
Vince is
Done.
busted.
Vince is great.
Vince
Good
is,
work,
Vince is
everyone.
great
Move
when
along.
you're playing Drowned God. Terrible in all other contexts.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
don't even hate Vincent Drown God. I hate Vincent your standard bullshit Greyjoy decks. If he
Right,
was like
that's what I'm saying.
Drown God
Actually,
deck only.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
I've lost so
All
much
right.
games to people
Awesome.
having
We
two
spent a lot
Vinces
of
or
time
three
talking about
Vinces in their hand.
Targaryen, so let's just move on from.
To Terrell.
Great, just-
Terrell. We have Leighton Hightower, the scheming
Does this
scepter.
matter? Does anyone play Tyrell anymore?
I do. Schoenthal does. Roy does.
It's just
Leighton Hightower, scheming scepter. Queen of Thorns, Old Town Undercity. Sir Mark Mullendor, the true diplomat and the Hightower spy. Anyone
The
who
answer
doesn't say scheming,
is
it's
Septon.
got to be the Septon, right?
yeah.
or Queen of Thorns.
Or Queen of Thorns, yeah.
I'm gonna vote Shrewd.
I'm.
Are you
I'm
really?
voting-
I
I'm
love
going to say
Shrewd.
Sir Mark Mullendor.
Yeah.
He follows into the similar thing as Scheming Septon, but I think he's less versatile. So
Well,
I
so
think-
Scheming Septon, like we have to remember
Scheming
just
Septon-
how busted that card was at its
Wait.
high point.
not busted.
That's fair.
It's still busted.
Yeah.
It's
Still
a
good.
card that breaks even. You don't pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's Scheming
And
Septon, but
It
But
makes
the
Old
first-
Town busted.
The
Yeah.
Queen
first
of
zero
Thorns is
cost
my
character.
favorite. Queen
It
of
also
Thorns
makes
is
Those
my
Mark,
Mark
favorite.
though.
busted.
Queen of Thorns is very, very strong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but she's so easy to control.
Yeah.
Sure. So that
Vince.
I'm
Scheming
voting
Septon-
Scheming Septon.
Scheming Septon is a pain in the ass to control. Yeah, Scheming Septon is going to win this.
It's
I'm just
probably
gonna
the
vote
second.
Queen of Thorns though, but sure.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
love,
yeah,
I love Queen of Thorns. One of my favorite.
I really want it to be the Shrewd Diplomat, but it's probably the Septon.
what does that card do?
Shrewd Diplomat
The
is
one that
non-unique
pushes people
Daria.
out
It's
of the
High
challenge.
Garden, but it
Yeah,
works
I
on
see.
attack and
But it-
defense.
It's
Yeah.
sweet.
the
It's
attack
like
and defense is the key part.
in Tyrell Shadows or
I think
Tyrell.
the key part
it's
is the
super
shadows
good.
and ambush and 3 costs.
Oh, a flea
So,
bombable. It's
Like
just
there's
it's
a
real
million
cool
ways to get her into play. which is
And you
fun.
can blink it with Mace.
And you can put it in with Leighton Hightower.
And called
yeah.
into service.
Oh man, called all those called in service martial or challenges phase triggers you're getting.
Oh yeah. All right. We can move on, right?
All right, best
Yeah.
start card.
Wyman.
I mean, let's read the others just for argument's sake.
All right, I'm gonna use the
Sorry.
bathroom. I'm just gonna say Mira,
I am no
but
one.
it's Wyman.
All right, it's Ramsey. I am no one, which is amazingly busted. Wyman Great John, Wyman Manderley, Mira, the Umbra Loyalist, and Skagos.
Great
I
job
mean-
this
Sorry,
year. That's
I
really
was wrong.
surprising.
It's Skagos. It's
Yeah,
feel
I
like-
mean,
I think it's Wyman.
I think
I
it
think
might be
Wyman
I am
is-
no one. I mean, all of these cards are so busted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ramsey's my favorite if we're just picking favorites.
But we're not. We're picking the most impactful, right?
Then Wyman.
don't think
Wyman,
it's
Wyman
Wyman, man.
turned
Wyman.
the corner for Stark.
I think
Wyman
it's
turned the corner for
Skagos.
Stark. Oh no,
No.
Wyman's Skagos.
I think Wyman shook. I chose it as my meta shakeup.
Yeah.
I think it shook up the meta, but the others built on that, and I don't think they're any worse than him.
I mean,
I'm
I
leaning
think
Skagos, Mira, or I am no one, but I'm not sure.
That's my. I think all three of
Yeah, I
those
was
are-
leaning towards Skagos.
I think Wyman's way better than Skagos.
I think
I think-
Skagos
I
is
think
good
the
with like
versatility
4
of
of those cards
Skagos-
on the list.
I feel like Wyman and Skagos is kind of the Hisdar and Marine of
So
Stark.
I
Yeah.
mean, I just Wyman
Like-
draws.
Except
Wyman's
like
so-
the only
so-
thing I like about Skagos is the better player you are, the better Skagos is.
Yeah, but Wyman's just busted for everybody.
Yeah,
He's
that's
free
fair.
busted, and he's like half reset proof. If the reset
I mean, he
is
only
like,
gets you 3 cards. That's pretty garbage.
I'm
That's a
gonna
weird
say
one. He
I am no
also
one.
stands. He
and
also
3
stands 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't everybody in Stark stand all the time anyway?
If
Yeah.
you Skagos.
Rip Barra.
So
I
it
think-
was literally before Wyman, it was a giant pain in the ass to get Stark standing. Like a huge pain in the ass.
I mean, sure, without Northern Armory or I don't know, Rob. Like,
Dude,
I
always
think
play
that Skagos. I like
Rob.
Skagos because it's a unique effect that is incredibly exploitable in the right, in the
And
right
changes how you build a deck. Sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally. It is meta defining.
I think so.
for-
I think
for
so
me-
is Wyman.
For me, it's still
Yes,
I am no
Andy
one
was
though,
right.
because what it does for Stark turn 1
See, but I think that's
to
only
get
rush.
those challenges in. It also draws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
it's pretty good with Second Sons. I'm just saying.
Great with the Second Sons. No, I think it helps them. Like, what do you say?
Stabilize.
No, not stay. So Wyman and Mira and Umber loyalists, they're great in the late game. And Skagos, they're great when you build up. But no one lets you get there, I think. I think they...
But it's certainly not in every Stark deck. I mean,
Oh yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Should
I,
be
I run
these
it.
days.
no,
it-
At least
yeah.
2.
I don't
Minimum
think it
2
was
in
as
almost everyone.
historically. Maybe people are coming around on it, but I don't think it should
Yeah,
be.
for the past year, I think it should be.
I think it was in
It-
Wama's deck, right?
So, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yes, but
3x.
look, here's the basic gist of it. If you go second, you're drawing 2 extra cards and getting 2 challenges likely unopposed.
It was in the SoCal, the Ebury list that would have took to...
Oh, of course, it was in the crossing deck.
Sure,
Like, I'm
but
not
I mean,
forgetting it's
it
great
has been.
Crossing.
I'm saying it has been played for a while.
No, it's been
And-
played since the breakout performance of Star Crossing at the end of the summer. But I think it's at the point where it's sitting at 2 copies in mid-range Stark decks, which is
I
where
know
not.
one.
It
Or
should
3.
be
I know
for-
one has been in Stark since. Like I've no one has been in Stark since we literally played in my tournament, and then I'm no one came out, and then Ebury was like, "Should we put this in?" And I was like, "We should put 3 of it in every fucking Stark deck until the end of time because
Yeah.
the card is broken."
Yeah, I really think so.
When a card makes Septim Ordain one of the most busted cards, like it's a pretty good card.
Separate was always good. John's been fighting me about that card for a year and a
I think
half.
it
One of
really
John's
makes
2 years.
Stark come together as a faction. So it puts them on the board turn 1. It helps Great John to get through his military challenge turn 1.
I just didn't
It
know we
draws
could
you
call
cards
it
for
a
the-
Stark card because it takes away the affiliation, dog.
Sure.
Got
No,
'em.
my vote is definitely I am no one
Got 'em.
after thinking it through.
All right, so let's vote. We got 1 I am no one,
Mine's Wyman.
Wyman.
1 Wyman, 2 Wyman,
Mira.
1
Skagos.
Mira, 1 Skagos, and I'm a Wyman. Wyman wins.
This is essentially the splint. This is like gerrymandering all over again. We just had. We should do runoff voting.
What?
Yes.
It was 3 to 1 to 1. No other.
3 to 1 to 1 to 1. But maybe it would be 3 to 3 if we had runoff.
If my
voting.
dog's name was not Mira, I would be voting for Wyman too.
It would be
So
4 to
you'll
1.
lose.
Best Lanny card I think is actually really interesting.
Yes.
Marcella Brathian, Sir Robert Strong, Penny, the Bowels, Cersei, and Gunther, son of Gun.
And Catspaw.
And Catspaw. I can't believe I forgot Catspaw. You are so right. Catspaw belongs there.
It's vowels, right?
I'm gonna go Bowels because their enables all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going Robert Strong.
Yeah, I know.
Of course you would.
That card's so good.
Great Klansman card.
Good in every single Lannister deck.
I think Gunther might be honestly the best because it goes in every
Look,
deck.
what card lets you play Sir Robert Strong? It's obviously Bowels, so
Robert
Bowels.
Strong was played before Bowels.
Yeah, but Bowels is what
Yeah,
makes
but
them good.
Lannister couldn't win games before Bowels, so
I mean,
Lannister still can't win games. Like I
I'm
don't
just
know what you
teasing. I'm
want.
just teasing.
well, Lannister Crossing is still a tier 1 deck, but
Yes, but
Yes.
your card deck does not play Sir Robert Strong most of the time. Lannister Crossing.
I know.
Bad landing crossings don't
I mean,
play.
is there ever going to be? Wait, is there ever going to be painted? Not painted dogs. Is it painted dogs? The stand should probably be here too. But like, is there
Probably
ever
should.
going to be another Lancer deck without Gunther?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what he does.
Oh,
He's
he
got
Yeah, I
a
don't know
special
who
card.
it is.
when you win a challenge in which he's participating, the opponent chooses and discards the card from hand. He's at
What's it from?
Million.
And since he's Clansman, you can put him into multiple challenges.
Oh, of course, he's in the Greyjoy
something.
box. No wonder I never heard of him. Oh, we weren't doing that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
sure.
we're not rating that guy.
Okay, fine. He's just like in general, that card is completely goddamn amazing. I think it's Bowels. I'm voting Bowels. Let's get some votes in.
I think
Yeah,
it's
Vowels.
Cersei.
Ooh,
The
spicy.
vowels.
I have a
I'll
relic.
Jesse thinks that card's garbage.
I wanted
It's
to make
alright.
Cersei,
I
but
think it's
All
good,
right.
not great.
I mean, we need more good shadow cards, sure, but I mean,
Do
she's
we?
busted.
we
I
just
don't
need
think so.
more good Lannister cards.
Both
Yeah.
is true.
I think you wouldn't play Bowels if you don't play Cersei.
Agreed.
I agree.
You play first Cersei and then you put Bowels in because
But you
it's good with Cersei.
always play Robert Strong.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Guys, let's
except
go.
in Crossing, but yeah.
We've got one Bowels, one Strong, one Cersei. Roy?
Who's the one strong?
I said Bowels.
Jesse.
I said
strong,
Bowels
too.
as well.
Oh, so
I
Bowels
think
wins?
No, I said strong too. It's 2-2.
Oh, 2-2?
Because
Wait.
3.
I think at least three of these, maybe 4 or 5, is one card. Like all of these are in the same deck and not in many others.
So, but
But Robert is in a versatile number of decks.
just
No,
think
I mean
Bowels is
that
one makes that deck
Robert,
Alright.
Penny, Bowles, Cersei, and Catspaw is all in the same deck and
Look,
not
Right,
in
but
many
Robert
others.
is
Be honest
also
here,
in
like,
other decks.
There are 2 good Lannister decks right now. There is Lanny Crossing and a Lanny Shadows build that could be out of Assault. It can be out of Lanny Kraken. It could be out of. I know the Sea of Blood Clansman Dream, but that hasn't been proven yet, Jesse. So.
I never said
And then
it's gonna
there's
be
like the
proven.
Joe Morando, his champ pack, and 4 cards put in that he doesn't know what to do. Like those cards function version of Lannister, but there's like not a lot of like diversity in Lannister here.
Once
So,
the
like,
game has now that the game has slowed down, like I am convinced that Lanny Wolf is tier 1.
All right. Let's vote. So
we did
Yeah, we did.
Bowels.
Bowels won.
Bowels.
Cersei.
Rip.
Wait,
It's 3
who's the
Bowels.
third Bowels votes?
Sandy.
Yeah. Bowels.
Okay,
3
I
Bowels.
heard Sandy and Roy.
I see 3 people that don't play Lanny voting
I
for
play Lanny a
Bowles.
lot. I play Lanny.
Well,
right?
let's talk about Targ. Let's go back to that Targ vote then, guys.
I play
No,
Lanny.
I agreed with you, Sandy.
I play Lanny, Targ, and Martell.
You mean
I
wait?
have
Okay,
never-
here's what the
whatever.
boiling down the entire conversation. His star is a busted card. Marine's a busted card. His star is slightly better than Marine. No. Marine is slightly better
Yes.
than his star. No, his star is slightly better than Marine.
We should
And
just
Marine's
bold
like,
them
Come
both.
on, like there was like barely any difference.
I'm just saying, people that don't play, if we're saying we don't play Lanny, so our opinion doesn't matter, I just want to go back to the number of tournaments you've each played with Targ and weight your opinions that way.
So
I've played with
Steppo wins.
Target
It
tournaments.
doesn't matter. His star won. All right. Either way, we're on to Best Night's Watch. I know which way Jesse's voting. Cold Hands, Fresh Recruits, Jon Snow, The Wall, Lord Commander, and the Dude with 3 fingers. It's Hob, right? Like
It's definitely Hob. I'm just bolding him right now.
Big Papa John is there.
I want it to be Jon Snow, but it's Hob.
Stop writing things that are already there.
Hob goes in all Night's Watch decks ever until
Yeah, 3-finger Hob is Marine in Night's Watch.
Yeah,
So,
it's arguably better than Marine because
Yes.
it works.
Yes.
It's not better than Marine. It's just not.
It has a
You get to keep the
steward
card.
trait.
You get to
I-
keep
I-
it.
Have you
Yes.
played my new Rat Cook deck? It's insane.
Wait, everyone who has
Is there a Rat
ever
Cook
listened to the White Book knows the most broken deck in Thrones is a Rat Cook deck.
I've
All
never
right,
listened to
destroy the game.
White
All
Book.
right, destroying the game. All right. All right, so you should go to Isle Worlds. Number 1. Number 2, definitely the most broken deck ever created is Rat Cook. So
All right. Best plots.
King
You
Plot.
win
there's a lot of plots this year.
I mean, the right answer is the last one.
Wait,
You win or you die.
Just go through it,
Night's
Clayton.
Watch quickly. Night's Watch a bit quickly though.
Okay.
Yes, it is 3-finger Hob. I just want to say that Fresh Recruits is not
so, yeah.
far behind.
I like
So
Fresh Recruits a
Well,
lot.
Night's Watch had a good year. It just like Night's Watch is just in a weird place in the meta.
Yeah.
I think it's
overall.
really good. I just feel like Martell is better at control, and that's what Night's
It's
Watch
just
should be
like,
I
but the problem is Night's Watch has such huge problems with pinch. Like pinch is just such a problem for Night's Watch strategies right now, and it just, and particularly Raider pinch
Yeah.
is a
I don't.
for
Very
Night's Watch.
nice that that's a weapon.
It's a problem, but it's not a huge problem. I don't think. I think actually the problem with Night's Watch is that there's no. I don't think. Well, I certainly haven't rebuilt Night's Watch decks from the ground up. in a long time. I think that there's
I think that's true.
like, people are just
Just yes.
modifying existing
I was
decks.
just a Night
and-
Watch King.
Shocking.
Like I'm telling you, like the biggest problem with Night Watch right now is that Targ crushes them. Like it's such
Yeah.
a bad matchup. Like it's very very bad. Like
Have you
just
rat cooked Drogon? Because that makes it a lot easier.
You need to have six. You need to get to the. Is Red Cook's the marshalling phase, right?
Yeah.
So you need to have
Yeah.
6 stewards in play in the marshalling phase on
They all
turn
cost
1.
But you're gonna have
That's
hogs, so
easy.
only
You
five-
play
know that-
Nitros
five
Wolf
go.
because
You know
you
what?
have the
Winter Steward.
Winter
the
costs
Stark
everything.
Reducer is a steward, and
I
you
know a lot
set
of
up
people-
15 stewards.
Or
I know
play
a lot of
Kraken
people
because
haven't
hell yeah is the
experienced
steward
this.
as well.
But do you know the feeling of having like 6 attachments on a seasoned woodsman and then seeing Drogon hit the board? You just want to fucking cry, man.
Well, I don't think the attachment route. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that the existing. I think we need to rethink Night's Watch a little bit based on like Sea of Blood, based on the new box. I think
Guys,
there's valid.
What does
Night's
Night's
Watch
Watch want
King.
from Sea of Blood?
Night's Watch King. Oh God, Rangers. They have the thing that kills all attacking characters.
Yes.
I also
also-
have all military icons.
Watchers
at
which
the
are
wall.
Bad.
Yeah.
But like,
All right, whatever.
'Kay.
Best plot.
That's plot.
You win or you die. The King in the North.
Oh, this is so hard.
LGB.
Rough.
Forced March. Uneasy Truce. I know you guys don't want it here, but we take rest routes, and the winner, trade routes.
Trade came out. Wait.
No,
Was it
this is
trade-
House
no,
of
trade
Thorns.
routes?
That's last year.
Oh,
Trade
that's
routes
how
came out at
thank
World
God.
Syria.
It was in my Martell box head. Okay, good. Ooh, go away.
Okay.
Also,
And we take Westeros
Westeros
in the
as
Greyjoy
in the
box,
box,
so
get it
yeah,
out of here.
I mean, it comes out this year. Like
We
things are
don't
coming out.
know. We haven't played with
I don't know what
it.
it
We're
does.
gonna vote on
Technically-
Greyjoy next year.
Technically, it hasn't come out
No,
yet.
we will
so
not
it
be
may
voting
not come
Greyjoy
out
next
this
year because it didn't come out in 2019. But
I like that England isn't a place, but whatever.
All right. So
I mean,
here's the
I
thing.
have the Greyjoy box. I've played with it.
All right,
But-
so I'm
Alright.
gonna pick King of the North.
Listen to me.
I think King of the North.
How
King of
are
the
we
North
rating
changed the
this?
game.
How? Yes. Okay.
The plot that
It's just-
changed the game most, that was most effective throughout the year and shaping the meta. I think.
Breaking ties.
I
God,
think
it's so hard.
I think it's
It's
King of the
definitely
North
not
because
uneasy truce. Let's put that out there.
Yeah.
It is definitely not uneasy truce.
I agree.
good plot though. Underrated.
Good
That should have
plot.
been on the underrated cards.
True.
I honestly, the other 3, I could make a case for either one, any of those 3 having changed the
I mean,
game
the first
significantly.
4. Force March is
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
sorry.
yes.
Yes, Force March as well. Yes, those 4.
Force March
got-
really
gotta
good.
pick one.
So
There's
I'm gonna.
definitely there's definitely a huge argument for any of those 4, for sure. But I'm going King plot because I just find it to be the most oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
King
Uh,
Plot has the highest
it's the-
number
it's
to
the-
add everything
But
else.
the thing is, though, Breaking Ties is now restricted. How would you vote on this if it wasn't restricted?
Breaking Ties. I think it's Breaking
Yeah.
Ties. 100% Breaking Ties.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
thinking
it's-
Breaking Ties as well.
I feel,
The
I feel like
key-
that's
the key way to-
ignoring that it's restricted. We have to consider that it's restricted. It's been restricted
Well,
for the
but
past
we
3
have to-
months.
No, it
but-
was restricted because it was the best plot of the year.
I don't think that's true.
I mean,
That's not true.
I think it had the biggest impact. on
I
meta,
think it
'cause,
was restricted because it's a control card and Danny's a pussy, but whatever.
like, ooh, but first off, it's not a control card. It's a tempo card.
It's temp card,
Alright.
yeah.
I
Above
ran
and
it in my
above.
crossing deck. Like, it's definitely not a control card.
No.
It should have been.
It can be a control card, like all tempo cards. It can be a control card, but its danger is they can also be in fucking dumb Stark rush decks that play the loyal 2-cost 1 strength girl that searches a copy of herself out and then sacrifices her, pop your best non-loyal character, play the other one you just searched, pop their best. It's just like busted with cheap loyal cards. Like, and it shaped the game. Like, look at Randall Tarley, right? Like the Tyrell Dragon deck couldn't exist the way it did for the late fall before Breaking Ties was existed. Like
Yeah.
Breaking Ties kept it in check, and then it got restricted, and that deck won a bunch of tournaments with the restricted list, or placed well with that restricted list. Like Breaking Ties is extremely
That
strong
deck
in
still
Meta
could have
Wargaming.
existed. That deck was like built on the
if it
back
were
of Renly.
But it
Yep.
but it got additional win. If you could deal with Renly, it got Randall. It got way more consistent. Like Brienne, like the card like Brienne, the cards like Randall,
Right, but
like so many of the non-loyal renown got so much better.
Yeah, that deck
But, I
existed
mean,
for like a month.
I
and
could
a half.
make a similar argument with Win or Die and how it enabled all of these crossing decks to do like basically win a turn earlier.
Yeah, it's a
I don't
short
know.
plot. But that's just one use. But there's uses in it being in builders, like
I
thought about
cannot
that
answer.
stupid.
I can't. This is the one. I can't answer this question objectively. Like I just actively hate king plot. So
My
I'm
yeah,
voting
my
for it.
I'm voting
personal
king
metric.
plot too.
I
My
hate
personal
king
metric
plot.
is-
I think it's bad for the game, but
yes, I think
yeah.
it's bad for the.
I
game.
think breaking ties is the vote here.
I think both
for me.
plots
I
are
don't know.
terrible for the game, and I love both of the people that designed them, but I think they're both like over pushed bullshit plots that should.
There is going to be a best champ card, and I want you to consider best champ card doesn't have to mean most overpowered. It could be the best designed. But for the time being,
So
I'm voting
Now-
king. Let's just vote.
Yeah, breaking ties.
Can I just say one
Yeah.
thing? My personal metric for determining best plot is if I make a single plot change that affects my win condition or that affects my win percentage, and it's like, and I remove one of these cards and put another one in, I think honestly the plot that for the decks that I play that makes it more likely to win the most is probably king plot. If I run king plot, I tend to win, and if I run any of the others, I win slightly less.
It depends on the meta though. So if builders is strong, or any wall deck is strong, breaking ties is nuts for you. So
Breaking ties does not
it's-
hurt
it's a-
builders nearly
Yeah, I
as
don't
much
think
as
it
Yeah, it
hurts.
doesn't bother
I think
builders at all.
that specific
Breaking
interaction
ties
is
doesn't.
way overrated.
Builders does not
That-
care about breaking ties.
At all.
But it fucks you
cares
for
a
a
little.
turn, as the same as
no,
King in
it's
the
a-
North, except
King plot fucks you worse for a turn.
King plot.
Way,
not
way worse.
really
That
though.
doesn't-
Yeah,
Oh, no,
because you
really.
don't have economy, so you can't stabilize the board like at
Yep.
all.
You bounce
You
the.
can't do any. You can't do any of your tricks. You can't do any of your like entry. Like you're just losing.
That's fine,
Look, you
but I mean,
bounce the wall,
I
and
think
I'm
they
doing
do
challenges with
do
advantage
the
struggle, and I
same.
still win.
I think
Yeah.
they do the same thing, except breaking ties makes you pay 4 gold next turn.
I don't think they do the same thing at
Yeah.
all. I think
Yeah,
you
Right,
haven't
I
played
think they do
Total,
the
so
same,
they
except
do
King
the
That's what
plot
I'm
makes you
saying.
pay 4 gold that turn when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, it screws
Because
up
you
your
don't have
economy
your
so
money.
badly.
Also,
have
like,
any economy.
yeah,
And you don't
I
have
don't
your.
know.
And you don't have your delay
Anyway,
said,
anyway,
and it's
that's
turning off your 3
anyway.
finger.
Breaking ties helps you in some matchups. King in the North helps you in others. King in the North, if it's in the meta, it might not do anything because others run
Yeah,
it.
but it has now warped the meta, right?
Like
Like
still
we're
a
saying,
5
breaking
gold
ties
plot
warps the
with good
meta.
initiative. With
Breaking
good
ties
reserve.
warped the meta. It warped it
They-
so
they-
fucking hard.
They both warp the meta. I don't think either one warps the meta necessarily.
I mean, King in the North.
So let's
So-
compromise and go forced march.
I mean,
I
don't- I
that's
don't
fine.
think so.
I'm actually
9
fine with that.
initiative. 9 initiative, dude.
4,
That was
9,
pretty
1
nutty.
games.
Yeah.
I don't
being
think so.
which I think that plot is so obnoxious in crossing decks.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Why is
it's
it?
so obnoxious.
And,
And
it's the only one
and
that's too
Yeah, it's not plot limit 1.
Yeah.
The
Force
biggest
March-
thing
Force
for me
March is
with
so
Force March
rat-breaking.
is it's 9 initiative. People play it against me when I Martel, when I have 0 military icons.
Yeah.
They just win initiative and I'm fucked.
Yep.
And the gold is good too. Like 4 is perfectly fine.
The stats
So,
are great.
Yeah, it's
I don't
6
know.
reserve,
I would
right?
have to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's 6 reserve.
Over.
I'd have
Alright,
to
let's-
say king
let's
plot,
vote.
but I don't know.
I'm voting. Let's vote. Let's just vote. I'm voting king.
I'm voting
Breaking.
king.
We
Okay.
got 2
Breaking
king, 1
ties.
breaking, 3 king, 1 breaking. Right?
I said breaking. I was like the.
We got 2 breaking, and then who are we missing? We're missing 1 person.
Sandy.
Yeah, I'm saying king plot.
All right,
Alright.
king wins.
Sandy swiping.
All
No.
right, best neutral draw deck card. JT Drummond. Off to Goldtown. Poison Coin. A pinch of powder. Old Billbone. Varus.
Pinch of powder.
It's very easy.
Are we
Is-
done?
So, procedural question here: is Gates of the Moon not on the list because it was too early? Is it not this year?
Gates
It was
of
not-
the Moon is not this year, but
Okay.
the
It
other
was
one
December
is.
of last year, right?
Yep,
City,
it's in the same pack.
City Gates is this year, but I didn't want to
No,
just make
I
it a
wouldn't
weekend
put
thing.
City Gates, but I was gonna say if Gates was this year. it should
And
be
you
on there.
didn't put Varamir on there, dog.
Yeah, Varamir's not as good. I don't think Varamir's as important as any of these cards. I think it's Pinch. Does anyone want to fight against Pinch?
No.
No.
I think Old
I wanna
Billbone
put
is
in a
the most
good word.
overrated.
I want to put in a
Underrated,
good
sorry.
word for Poison Coin because it's sweet, but it's
Yeah,
not better
Poison
than
Corn is
Pinch.
sweet.
Off to Gold Town is sweet, and it has
Yes,
been in
true.
several winning decks, and
All
well
of these are good
performing decks.
cards, man. They didn't get
Yes.
on the best list by being shitty. Which house got the most love? Targ, Martell, Greyjoy, or Stark?
Stark.
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 Targ.
Stark.
Stark. Targ. Targ. Stark.
I think Stark
Yeah.
got more love
Stark.
than Targ.
Yeah.
So
But
Targ
I
was-
mean,
went
Targ
from
got so
okay to
nutty
great.
cards though.
Stark went from garbage to amazing. Like
Yeah.
That's why it's Stark.
Targ went from number 1 to number 1.
So which
Yeah,
house
exactly.
got least love?
Lanny.
Lanny, Barra, Night's Watch.
Barra.
No, Barra.
Lanny.
Lanny
Yeah.
got a whole new
I,
deck.
I kind of want to say Night's Watch. Night's Watch had a really bad year.
So Aaron,
Are you?
so
are you kidding
Lannister
me?
got a whole new archetype, and it's bad.
Wait, no, Sandy's
Well,
disagreeing with me. What's your point about Night's Watch, Sandy?
I don't know. The last like 3 cards, the last 3 characters I've seen from Night's Watch have all been really good. The new
Sure, but
builder's
look
good, the
at
new
their
sword's
list
good,
of best
John's
cards
good.
that we read off compared to the list of the other groups. Like,
But that's
it's not that
but they
Barra
bad.
have so
got
much
it.
more synergy.
So the
Like,
reason
you
I'm not
just-
saying Barra is Barra got a ton of good cards, but they
yeah,
didn't
they
get
just didn't get
economy.
any great. Barra just didn't get any
Sure.
great cards.
Yeah.
But Barra
Solis,
got a lot of good cards. I don't think Sleece is that great. Dude.
Solis, Red Ronnet, Bastard Night
Red
Song,
Ronnet,
Blackwater
Straight Fast
Bay,
Night Song. These are just
Dragonstone
good.
Castle, King at
These
the
are just-
Wall.
I know
they're
what
all-
the list
if
is
you
now.
can-
I
Other
made
5
it.
cost guy.
Yes.
Justin Macy or
Justin
whatever.
Macy.
If
The
you
one
could
that
if you could afford these cards, they would be
Yeah.
great.
So you got to run
so Barra. I
Iron,
think it's Barra.
Iron Bank.
I'm going Lannister for sure, no doubt.
I'm Night's Watcher Tyrell, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it might be Terrell.
I think it's Night's
It
Watch.
might be
Tyrell
Tyrell. I
got
don't.
Septed, didn't it? We were talking about Septed
And
earlier.
Queen of
Yeah,
Thorns.
but
You can't
Yeah,
get
look,
Septed
those
look,
aren't-
and
Okay,
High
I'm
Tower.
Night's
Everyone
Watch.
got-
I'm going Night's
Everyone
Watch.
got some good cards.
And Marjorie's
I don't-
influence.
Why do you think Night's Watch got shafted? I thought it did pretty well overall.
Look at that
If
list.
it wasn't for Pinch, I think it would be very close to top tier right now.
And
were
it would
closer
be
to the middle.
unchanged from last year, except you now
Right,
put
yeah,
3x
none of the
Hob
cards
in
from
there.
here.
3x Hob and the new
Without
builder.
Pinch around,
Oh no, there's that. There's also that builder
the
that
Jontron decks get a lot better.
Young builder.
there's also the yeah, I don't remember what it's called. The draw builder. When you kneel it, it
Yeah,
looks
young
like the top
builder.
part of your deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
young
that
builders.
card's super
Awesome.
good.
Eh,
Like,
fine.
oh no, card is super good in builders.
Yeah, dude.
I vote definitely Night's Watch.
there's stuff.
Yeah, Night's Watch.
Alright. I'm on Barra.
I'm one Lanny.
I'm on Barra.
2-2 for
Yeah.
Night's Watch Barra.
Roy, break the tie.
Bear.
Barra wins.
Ooh.
Wrong.
Fine.
Who's wrong? It's total opinion. All right, most controversial card.
You have wrong opinions. It's fine.
Free folk.
I have
Free-
many wrong opinions.
Breathe. King of
Wait,
the
are
Wall.
we counting when you say free folk? Are we counting controversies surrounding its playability at war style events?
Literally,
I mean,
Yeah, it's
literally
definitely free
controversial.
folk.
most controversial is that.
Definitely free folk.
So, King at the Wall, Free Folk, Wyman, Drogon. People lost their minds for that shit. Wars, which I think is going to be underrated. Drowned God Fanatic, and Breaking Ties.
I think Wars is my pick.
It's breaking ties or free folk.
Uh,
I mean,
or-
Because
yeah,
before-
the
because before
uproar
Breaking
that Wars to Come created during the summer was
Yeah,
insane.
But you
but it
can't
was a-
untie it from breaking tie.
Right,
Yeah,
I
you
think
can.
you can. I don't
You
think
can.
I don't
Breaking
think
Ties
you
was the problem at all. I also think that Wars was one problem and Free Folk has been like 4. So I think it's Free Folk.
What? How is I don't
But
understand
I don't
free
think
folk
there's a lot of
controversy.
free folk supporters. Like I don't think there's a bunch of people out there stumping for
Oh.
free folk that it's good
Yeah,
for the
they're all in
game. Or...
Wausau. They're literally all in Wausau.
No, we all hate it. We all
See?
don't think it should exist.
See, here we are, controversy 1. We've got the war format controversy. We've got
Okay, but
when
that's
it was first printed, what it did for the game. We've got like it's just I don't know. I think
those aren't controversies.
And it's
Everybody
not
agrees.
controversy. Everyone agrees that it shouldn't be, except maybe 1 or 2 people, that it shouldn't be in the
It's
war
fine.
format. It's
Those
obvious.
people are dumb.
We're talking
Jesse thinks so.
controversy, people discussing and being in
Jesse-
uproar.
Jesse Carpenter thinks it should be in the war format.
He's dumb. Stop.
Wait, Jesse
Yeah.
doesn't think it should be in the war format. Do
No,
you?
I
I don't
does.
think so.
No, I don't. I just don't
No.
care.
You voted for it. Okay.
At Roy's? But no,
Yeah.
I voted for it because we didn't talk about it before the draft.
We
I don't
did,
think
though, but that's
anything
fine.
should.
See, that's
I don't
different.
think I don't think anything should be voted on after a draft ever.
We
Yeah,
voted on
agreed.
it before. That's fine. All right.
I didn't.
It's fine. My event was garbage. So we can move
No,
on.
it wasn't. It was great. I just I don't think it should be part of war format.
Me neither.
I agree there.
I don't think it should be part of the game, so it shouldn't be part of Warframe. All right, let's vote, I guess.
I think we were just thinking controversial in
so-
a different light. Like
Yeah.
we're talking
Are you
about in the
saying it's
community.
controversy about controversy?
There needs to be people on each side for there to be
Oh,
controversy.
then it's Breaking Ties. That's the only one that really has people on each side.
No, it's wars.
I'm thinking it could be
Wars.
Drown God as well. There are
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
especially.
Yeah. All right, wait. Why this? It's combo. So it's got to be like one. What's like what? It's got to be annals.
Oh,
Like
Combo this year?
combo.
No,
Combo
Littlefinger
this
is
year.
meddling. If it's a combo card, it's
Whatever
meddling.
card we want to pick to
But
represent.
none of the combo
It could be
cards
Knight of
came
Flowers.
out
It
this
could
year.
be
It's
whatever.
Jake Platt. It is
Well, Jake.
Platt.
Jake
Sure,
Platt
yeah.
is
Chris is
All
right.
right, Jake
None
Platt
of them were released this year.
So, but
So
I mean, I'm fine voting
I mean,
for Jake Platt for this category. It's fine.
I'm perfectly fine with
Bounty
Jake
is
Platt.
Bounty is technically this year. If you would like
There you
it to be Bounty.
Sure.
no,
As the
Like
proxy for
combo is
rest
the
of
most
deck.
controversial thing of this year,
Yes,
Sure,
it was
but like that,
combo.
but
hands down.
it's
Like
not
if we
the most
don't
controversial thing, it's card. So pick a card. Want to vote for
Breaking
Bounty?
Ties, then. But
Yeah, I'm fine with Breaking Ties because I still don't think Breaking Ties is a problem. So since we
see,
just
that's
read
why
that-
it's a controversy, because people don't agree and argue over it.
Fine, I just agree.
Which is the same for Wars to Come, Drown God, and Breaking Ties.
so should
Not
it
for
be- should it
Drogon,
be
not for
Marin
Wyman, not for King of
or
the Wall,
Hisdar?
not for
Oh,
FIFO.
some people love King at the Mall. I think it's absolutely no
I like King at the Wall a lot.
I'll vote for
It's
the
not
worst to
about
come.
liking. It's
It's wars.
I'll vote for the worst to
It's about-
come. Actually, I have a good reason. I'll vote for the worst to come because I didn't think it was a problem until people were fighting about it, and then I was like, I think this might be a problem. Like Breaking Ties, I thought it was a problem as soon as it was spoiled. I was like, this is just a poor design.
I've
Like
gone
this
back
is
and
just
forth on Breaking
Yeah,
Ties.
like
okay.
the worst to come. I was just like, people aren't gonna get that lazy, are they? And then I was like, Americans are boring. Here we go. Like, and then everyone played it. Like, I'm going Wars to Come. You convinced me, Buzz. You
Thank
convinced me.
I'm
it's
voting
Breaking
BT.
Ties.
Wars to
Two
Come.
BT, 2 Wars. You need Chris and Sandy, right?
Yes.
Chris.
Well, no. Jesse's on wars to come as well.
I'm on Wars
Oh,
to Come.
Jesse's
so
worst?
that's three. All right,
And-
Sandy, you gonna go for Wars? You gonna go for Breaking Ties? Or you gonna be a spicy Green Party voter?
No, it's definitely. I think Breaking Ties stirred up way more controversy than Wars.
We are now
to be
3-3, and we need someone in the chat to determine for us.
because it got on the restricted list. Like it was so controversial, it got restricted.
Just
Both of
like
them
Wars
are.
to Come.
Hey, it's
Just
SoCal
yeah,
Fan Snake
we're-
Barber.
Not even
It's
They
SoCal
literally got restricted
Yes,
on
so
the same day.
is Barber.
Yeah,
Also,
so-
we all know the real answer to is Jake Platt.
Yeah.
So
And really the mind of Brad Eatman.
Thank you, Barber.
All right, Barber says wars. Good work,
Wars,
All
Barber.
right.
Alright. Alright, best seed card. I don't know what to do with this. We had a bunch
Oh, I
last
do.
year.
I have a
What?
good one.
I put all 3 of the Shadows locations. So there's the Martell Shadows location.
So you're
Belen
just saying
Shadows
like an
location.
okay card that's gonna build and build and it's gonna eventually be busted.
yeah.
Gifts
Oh,
for the widow.
spells.
Gifts from the widow.
Oh, yeah.
God, yeah.
That's a
Yep,
good
that
one.
wins.
Gifts from the widow. That card is gonna be busted.
We need more before we vote, though.
So
I
we have
think I was
3
the
shadows.
first one to play that in
Shadows.
tournament.
We have 3 Shadows locations. Gifts of the Widow. Any other seed cards?
Tarl? Like, I don't know.
I would have hoped you come up with this before.
I asked in the chat if literally anyone was paying attention. I was like, I'm
I
having
do-
both these
I
two
was
categories.
sleeping.
That's not my problem.
That's
dude.
why you do this days ahead.
Roy
I will say
changed
that, like,
our schedule.
guys,
I didn't
The
change
best
any
seed card-
schedule.
the
Like,
best
I don't
seed card
understand
that came out
this.
this year is Assault from the Shadows. Let's be real.
That's true.
I'm getting rid of
Assault,
the next category 'cause
yes.
I don't want to deal with it.
The reason I don't think it's a C card is because
It's hard.
we're only getting one more cycle of Shadows cards.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Uh,
attachments until the end of the game.
Oh, then
Which
shouldn't
is
it be-
why
Alright,
I'd
then
add
one more
I'd
cycle
add
like
Cohort as well.
I don't think
Sure,
I don't think
love
agendas.
Core.
Time out. I don't think agenda should be here.
Okay, that's fine. Then
I mean,
I
then it's Banner Dragon.
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think
It wasn't
agendas
released
really-
this year.
sorry.
Let me go
I'm
through.
for sure going Gifts from the Widow. That's my vote.
Yeah, I think I'm going Gifts of the Widow too. How about Jon Snow?
No.
No.
Which one?
Gifts of the
The
Widow.
big
The one
boy.
that came out this year. Yeah.
All right, we have
Gifts?
3 on Gifts of the Widow, so
All right, Gift of the Widow wins. Let's move on.
I vote Old Town
Deleting this
Understudy.
category next year.
I think we don't have a category yet, but sure.
yeah, I don't
Champ-
think that's a
Champ-
real
It's
Champ
4
card of the
cards.
year.
Champ card of the year, and this is we're going.
Wait,
not
I thought we were
best.
doing worst over time.
I don't know what that is. I don't care. I didn't have time to figure it out. We have one thing in it, so let's just go on. All right, champ card of the year, and this is not the best champ card because, probably Dragon Fanatic, but the best.
Wait,
design
Faith Milton is a
card.
champ card?
Oh no, that should be under agenda. I wrote it in the wrong place. Sorry. All right, the Withering Cold, King of the North, Cold Hands, the Crow's a Tricksy Bird, which everyone here was wrong about. The Wars to Come, Breaking Ties, Cohort, Fanatic, Pinch, Assault,
Wait,
and what?
and when I woke.
And When I Woke.
If I'd add the Crow's a Tricksy Bird to the seed card.
Oh, that's fine. Sure.
Yeah, we're getting plots till the end of time too, but I don't think that card is good.
If it's, I mean, Mr. Tamas runs it 3x and he's filthy and it's insane. And
If it didn't have the faction nail, I'd like it so much more.
I mean,
said
if it was a
every
wasn't a
faction
balanced
Neil card ever.
Well, no, but especially there because it would be good in both fealty and the military one.
Sea of Blood.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank
But you
yeah.
can't play challenges and plot. I mean, you can't play events and plot phase.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, sure. But
You
I mean,
just have to pay for it, but it lets you go search for it turn 1, which would be
Yeah.
amazing.
that's fair.
But, you don't want the double faction nail because then you're not getting anything out of your addenda but search for Trixie turn 1, and that's shitty.
No,
But
that's
anyway.
that's good. I'm gonna
That
add
card
that
really
into
goes-
my Night's Watch Sea of Blood. 1x Trixie is perfect. Um,
Okay.
I'm saying.
I think the best
Cohort.
design champ card is Assault. I know this is where we're gonna I think Assault is. I think both Assault and Cohort are glorious, but Assault benefits the way I want to play the game
is
more.
the most powerful
Definitely.
card or the best
No, the
design?
Best design.
Best design.
Well,
Okay.
you can say the most elegant design in this chapter.
Mirror read.
No- Wait, do we have no votes for Withering?
Mira
Cold?
not here. Mira should be here. Sorry.
My
Uh,
answer. Mirror read.
so
either-
the best design is definitely trading with the cohort.
Trading with the cohort.
I think
for
it's
sure.
Assault. I think Assault is so.
I
cool.
agree with Laser. It's Assault.
2 Assault.
I think
2 Cohorts.
Assault has the ability to become, in its design, it has the ability to become oppressive.
Oh, I don't think.
I don't think cohort has that ability, and I think that's an issue for
I think
Assault
Cohort
that
has
we need
more
to.
ability to be oppressive.
Yeah, I think Cohort has way more ability to be oppressive. I mean, I think if Milk
How?
of the Poppy didn't exist, it would be less so. But
You need to
that's
win
not-
challenges, which is a
yeah,
big
you need
thing,
to win a challenge. A challenge.
and you need to change
Any
so
one
much in your
challenge.
deck. I mean, so
Yeah,
Assault
look,
doesn't
if
really
Cohort-
change how you build a deck, while
it doesn't-
trading
yes,
with
it
the
does. It
cohort
doesn't
definitely
change how you
does.
build- It doesn't change how you build card decks. It changes how you build literally every other deck.
To some extent, maybe. I mean, you build Assault and include stuff that happens when.
Sure, you're not
Things
playing
come
with
up
a totally
shadows.
different card pool like you are for Cohort.
But you
And
could
if
play
like
the
that more,
same
that's
shadow
fine.
deck out of Filthy, and it's more or less
Yeah.
the same.
Oh, I don't think so.
You
No, I
play the
disagree
same
with that
cohort deck
completely.
out of
It handles
Guilty
very
too, and it's just
But trading with the cohort creates a whole new, almost archetype. I mean,
Yep.
it's so,
So does
beautiful.
Shine.
It's like HRD. It's
I mean,
It's
you're not convincing me
so
a play style.
beautiful
you're not
design.
You're not convincing me a play style I don't really enjoy is better than a play style I really do. Right? Like at the end of the day, that's what this comes
Yeah,
down to.
we're
what
on
does
let's
Ben
move
playstyle
Camp's
has
card of
to
the
do
year.
with anything about this? We're talking game
Because
design.
I think the best game designs are the ones I want to play with and I really want to play with.
Okay, I'm gonna veto anything Aaron votes for. No, but
mean, but-
seriously though, trading with the cohort is great design. It's the polar opposite of Wars to Come.
Well, you get one vote, so let's vote.
All right, vote.
Mirror
I
Reed.
don't either.
Trading with the
Mira.
cohort.
Cohort.
Assault.
Assault. And then we have one more. Sandy?
I'm gonna say Mira. God, we suck.
Beautiful.
Alright.
The 2-2-2 tie.
Okay, ask
Brad
Brad
Eames
Eamon
here.
what
Brad
the
Eames
best
back.
game
Brad,
design
you
champ
have,
card
you have to
is.
design between Cohort, Assault from the Shadows, or Mira. What's the best design
Most
card?
elegant design.
Most elegant design.
Cohort. It adds
Easy.
it to
I
it adds
love
archetype.
Brad.
Oh,
I
Me
love
love you
Brad
long
too.
time.
Can I get like a rush player to
And it's
weigh in
fair.
on some of
yeah,
these?
right?
And with time,
All right.
it's gonna get more powerful.
This is the same guy that
Agreed.
came up with the most controversial player of 20.
Player and deck of 2018.
Guys,
I don't know.
Because we love you.
let's get. It's just card types now. Let's blast through this so we can call it a night.
Character of the year.
Character of the year: Danny, Wyman, Hizdar, Drogon, Mira, Shadow City Bastard, Asha, Vic, Dragon Fanatic, and Hob.
Here's Dark.
John God Fanatic.
Hizdar.
Dragon Fanatic. So we got 2 and 2. Roy and Buzz have to go.
We're not talking game design anymore, right?
No.
Nope,
Yeah,
just
that's-
best of the year.
There we go. Okay, 6 in the stream. Character of the year. Blah 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 blah. Star.
Yeah.
Hizdar, okay.
Yeah.
And then we have one more voter, Sandy, I believe.
Oh, I
Roy.
said John God Fanatic.
Mira.
Yeah. I mean,
Mira.
I'm
Hizdar
thinking
wins
I could
3-2.
take his star, Hob,
Right, can
and
you stop
Drown
it?
Fanatic and flip a 3-sided coin.
Roy, can you stop just
Ooh,
picking
do you
your
have one of
dog's
those?
name every time?
No.
I also think she's a really powerful card. So
She is a
really
very
I do
powerful.
powerful card.
also.
She's a very good
Location
dog.
of the year. I'm
she's a
gonna
very
read,
good dog too.
location of the year. I'm gonna read 6 cards, and then we're gonna argue against
Dorn.
Carhold, Marine, Skagos, Bowels, Maiden's Bane, Wall, Dorn, Starfall.
Marine.
Oh God.
Marine.
It's Marine or Dorn, right? It's Marine or
Yeah,
Dorn.
it's Marine or Dorn. Stagos is good, but not that good.
So Skagos
Marine.
wins the game design award.
Yeah,
Marine or
Sure.
Dorn.
and
Uh,
freaking
This is
Carhold
best
wins.
I think if Mortel was better, we might more people would vote Dorn. I don't think we have
If
seen.
Martel was better, it just won Gen Con at Worlds. What more do you want, dog?
I mean, I'm voting Dorn. I'm just telling the Marine voters here that Targ was already busted, so Marine doesn't matter. I'm voting
I
Dorn.
mean, what do you mean it doesn't matter?
I'm voting Marine as much as I like Dorn more, but because I think I don't think I like Dorn more. I don't really like either. I play both, but I don't like either.
I think both are
Those
bad.
good cards. Yeah.
I think
Design.
I think both are bad design. Yes, I think
I vote.
Marine. Hang on, Martel has more draw, and Targ has no other draw. So I'm going Marine because Targ gets more from it.
I'm going Marine.
I
Marine
think
wins.
Marine as well. So
Attachment of the year, pinch of powder, and other contenders we're not voting for.
Pinch of powder. All right, move on to another.
No, Queen's Guard's good. Queen's
Yeah.
Guard is good.
Pinch,
I would-
Queen's Guard, King at the Wall, Lord Commander.
It's still
Queen's
pinched.
Guard.
Like, come on,
It's
guys.
still
The Queen's Guard is
pinched.
good. It's still
Probably
Pinch
Pinch,
is
but
not-
Queen's Guard's really strong.
I don't really give a crap about pinch most decks I play. Because Drogon has no attachments, guys.
Because
Yeah, he's
Drogon
so
has
easy.
no attachments, guys. Go fuck yourself.
Bad. Hey, can we make sure Sandy doesn't get drafted to Targ for war?
I've never gotten drafted to Targ. If I get drafted
I mean-
to Targ, I might actually win.
If we draft Targ, we're drafting Sandy. I mean,
Fair
his
enough.
value goes up like 3 times.
All right.
Oh
event-
man, Jesse, we're driving up that Sandy Barnabas price for Sid and
Brad's
Just drive it
vote
up a
for
little
the
more
best
than-
attachment is underhanded methods.
Underhand Method is really good.
It is really good.
It is.
If it
very
was
good.
not
Is it better than
Lanny, I'd
Pinch?
say it
No.
was good.
It's
I don't
not
wanna
better
run
than
Banner
Banner.
Ryan.
It's
It's better
very
than
good.
Lord Commander or King of the Wall. All right. Event
Is
of
that
the
the
year.
strength pump? Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Event of the year. SAT. Someone always tells. I'm no one, and I feel like it's probably between those two. When I woke,
Yeah, it's I'm no one.
Banished, Fresh Recruits, Poison Coin.
Someone always tells.
someone always
I'm
tells.
no one.
I am no one.
I am no one.
But it just won Gen Con.
SAT belongs
It
in one
just
deck.
came
I'm
second
no
in
one
Gen
belongs in.
Con.
I'm no one belongs in every Stark deck.
SAT is
And
more
in
raw
half the
power
banner wolf
though.
decks.
I don't know if that's true. Like I've
They do
seen
different
Stark
things,
players,
though, right?
Yeah, I've seen Stark players get to like 9 power turn 1.
They're
I'm
both
just saying-
extremely powerful events.
Yeah.
But one counts as plots.
Oh, actually, Brad says Daznak's Pit.
I don't think so at all.
That might have been.
Sandy loves Brad right now.
No, I don't. I like the card. I just don't think it's on the same power level. It's really hard to get off in ways that are impactful. in my
Oh,
opinion.
I missed this. It's Mission to Essos.
Yeah, Mission
So-
to Essos.
So are we? So we are voting between SAT and I'm no one. Let's go. I vote I'm no one. Let's go. So I can count. Go.
SAT.
I'm no one.
I am no
1
one.
and 1. Two.
Mission to Essos.
I mean, I have no one's gonna win, but
So I'm no one.
Okay.
Wins. Good.
I'm registering my objection vote because
I'm
I'm
re-
not as good as people are making it out to be.
Someone
I'm
always
being a
tells
green voter and saying Mission to Essos.
least favorite cards in the game. Right. Agenda of the year.
Cohort.
It's
I
wars.
mean, we're
It's wars.
Greensight,
Wars.
Faith, Wars, Trading, Free Folk, Assault. I'm going Wars.
Definitely
level,
wars. 2018
wars.
was defined by wars to
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it
even
was.
made 2 alt arts of it.
Single card of the year. Gotta be Wars, right?
Wars. Yeah. I think it's wars again.
Yeah, it's wars to come.
Congratulations, Donovan. Even though he didn't win Best Design Champ card.
It wasn't the best design. It was just the most impactful.
Right.
Yeah. All right, good
Cool.
episode, guys.
Yeah, dude.
So
Alright, we
yeah,
love-
that marks the end of the 2018 season of Second Sons. Knowing the ways in which
So-
my least
We're-
favorites.
December 30th, right? We're doing another.
Yep, I was got a whole transition. Thank you, Glazer. Anyway, knowing how well my holiday season tends to go, I will probably want to do an episode sometime between now and the new year, or shortly thereafter in the new year. So expect to see a little bit more of the Second Sons, but it definitely won't be a full cast. But before we sign off, I want to do things starting with our technical maven. Buzz, what was your favorite Second Sons moment of 2018?
So since I'm from Europe, I don't see people that often. So probably Thrones War. We were full crew then.
Mhm.
Wasn't that last? Oh,
No,
Okay.
it was in February. Yeah.
Sandy.
I have so many, but honestly, and whatever, I think it was either the night before top. Oh wait, best Second Sons moment.
It could be
Yes.
Second Sons, but it can involve any Second Son. It doesn't have to be.
Can it just
Yes.
involve me? No.
Yeah, it can just involve you. You are Second Son.
No, I mean, I like hanging out with all of you guys. I think hanging out at Nordics with Buzz was fun. Hanging out in California is always fun. I don't know about Philly yet, but I guess it's okay. And I don't ever see Aaron in New York, but when I do, it's great.
We see each other everywhere else, just not New York.
Fuck you, Jesse. You're not real Second Sons.
So,
Oh,
Jesse, what's your
God.
favorite Second Sons
Damn.
moment?
Jeez.
My favorite Second Sons moment was commentating after Buzz crushed me. It was like most of the Second Sons cast, we were commentating the games with Brats.
That was a good one.
That was like super fun, and like I was drunk, and I was super upset with Buzz because he had all 3 Frosos at hand.
I remember.
I had 3 Frozos on hand and like, yeah, I
Have
keep
you-
this. I keep this.
Have you went back and watched that video? You just lean over to Chris and you're like, "I'll keep this." And I was like, oh god.
My favorite moment of that is Bratz just reaming any Wassa person who was on stream. He was like, "That line of play is terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible." Nick Hans is one of the worst players. That always just like punching Kevin Shannon in the face. He's like, "Hanson's terrible at this game. Why does he play? He should just go back to playing a game he's really, he's really bad at Magic. Like, just quit the game." It was
No,
great.
it wasn't Magic. Hanson's a Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
Oh, you go back to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hanson's a Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
Glazer,
Yu-Gi-Oh rat.
what's your favorite Second Sons moment from 2018?
I mean, it's got to be Thrones War. Thrones War is, I think, probably my favorite tournament of the year. I had more fun overall in Poland, but that wasn't like, that was just debauchery, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's like I was just like, I have so many of those, but
I mean,
The debauchery.
it did
Yes, we do.
produce a great Second Son story, which is Chris driving Dark Naj, Dan Struhal, and myself around, waiting for Glazer's plane to land, so we can
and
get
then
into this
pretending to beat
adults-only
Glazer on the
hotel
phone.
that only 2 people can stay in per room, and we had to sneak myself and Dark Naj up, and Dan and Struhal spent the whole night having a panic attack.
oh yeah, why is it not Gen Con? That should have been.
Gen Con's right there. Gen Con's right there. Gen Con was phenomenal.
Gen Con
It
was
was a
very,
real-
very good.
Really
Gen
good
Con
year
was
for
great.
Thrones for us. I'm gonna throw adding Jesse to the cast on one of my favorite.
Oof.
moments.
Right after Sandy, who's supposed to go to my best friend, just buries me.
No,
Go
you weren't
fuck
on it for
myself.
most of 20. You weren't on it for most of the year, so you're not. You can't like.
I
you
wasn't
can't
on it.
completely-
I was on like 4 straight episodes before I was on the cast.
He pulled a Barnabas where it's like special guest. I guess he's
All
on.
right,
I guess he's
we'll
on the show
he's
now.
Here again.
Every other Tuesday, Aaron would just message me and be like, "You want to be on the Second Sons tonight?" I'm like, "Sure, that's fine." Like,
Schoenthal?
Yeah, Gen Con and War are the 2 that I had in mind. So both of them were fantastic. Sitting on that couch, cuddling during our live show was pretty great.
It was good.
We're definitely doing another live show.
And live streaming the salted licorice, that was pretty.
Oh, that was
oh, that was so bad.
I'm
Uh,
so
we need
when I'm
better-
coming
somebody needs
back-
to bring a mic this year, though.
when I'm coming back for Thrones War, do you want salted licorice or do you want snooze and try?
Well, it has to be snooze, right? Because no one
what
knows
is
what the
that?
fuck that is.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm bringing a lot of snooze then.
that'll be.
So I love salted licorice and I like snooze, but I don't snooze. It's tobacco.
Are you
Oh yeah.
Are
it's
you
tobacco.
serious in
No
your
tobacco,
question, Sandy?
please.
You want to throw this out to the world, see what they vote on?
What are you throwing out to the world there?
He's typing in the Discord chat. What's the strongest meta in the U.S. in 2019?
We can do that.
SF or
2018.
Wausau?
Yeah, NorCal or Wausau are the 2 options.
Hey, how about that
It's
shitty?
definitely
like,
Wausau.
Go to the 4, but
how about-
SoCal's
How about the one that
become a
won
bit more
Gen Con?
casual recently.
There's like 6
not-
teams.
that's
and they all, like,
Illinois.
get different worlds. I don't know where they're.
Illinois.
Those are all one place in my head. We all know
Yeah.
this.
Now that I
Continue.
moved, Illinois is garbage.
So
They're better than me.
going
Did
around
Did West
back
End
to the
have a good
original
team?
question before Sandy was trying to troll. So we did a lot of really good episodes this year. I'm actually really proud with our output. We did 21 episodes this year, not
Nice.
including like a couple of 0.5 episodes, which is really, I think, impressive, particularly considering how wonky our schedules were for certain points. I'm really proud of us there. 2, Gen Con was just amazing. One of my favorite weekends of my life. Much
As it
less
should
His,
with,
his bachelor party.
my bachelor party. It was lit, as they say. But
Oh, as my kids say. You gotta say as my
but
students would say. Come on.
probably my favorite moment of Second Sons was 4 episodes ago when Glazer said I was right, which was probably the moment where my heart grew like 4 sizes. It was like, oh my god, since I've known Aaron, all I've wanted him to say is that I'm right. Like, and not like I'm right like 5 months later, but like literally Roy is right in the same moment that I make a statement. It was great. It was
Do you
like,
even remember what you were right about?
no, I don't. I just remember that I was
doesn't
right.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I can go and look at the episode. I called it "The Vegan is Right" simply so I could just listen to that episode on repeat for the rest of my life. I will know what it is. But I also, of course, is the Second Sons community. We have some things for 2019 barely starting to percolate, but we talked a bunch at Red Saturday about some ideas that will sort of hopefully kick off in 2019. 2019 is going to be a transitional year for Thrones. It'll be interesting to see what goes on, but
Maybe
I'm-
we'll get the Schoenthal check card.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's gonna be an interesting year. But I wish everybody out in the Thrones community a happy holidays if that's your jam. Whether you are secular, Jewish, Christian, or something in between. So happy holidays to you all, and we'll see you hopefully before the new year. If not, happy New Year. But you can cut it, Buzz.